What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 100. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, guys?
You messed up on that switch, didn't you?
Yes. Well, no, I mean, I told you I was going to the bathroom.
I didn't hear that.
But you started the show without me. Motherfucker.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, what up?
Brett Murdoch.
Welcome to the 100th Sunday of Loaded Fan Questions.
Yes. And we got two very special guests with us. First off, one of the originals of Throwdown, Mr. Michael Crawford, a.k.a. Ricky Son One, the only one.
The youngest one, the longest one, the strongest one, the only one. Ricky Son One. That's good.
Awesome. And, of course, our good friend, Mr. Charles Singletary Jr.
What's happening?
All right, people. We wanted to have Hayden Greatness on the show. I don't know what happened to this man. Hopefully he'll show up. You know, we don't know, but we'll see about that. By the way, this is how prepared I am for this fucking show. I didn't even have my show notes up yet. So I'm going to vamp a little. Actually, no, but I do need to say one quick thing. Charles, man, I want to give you the super props, man. Fucking CBR, son.
Oh, okay. I was like, what did I do? Oh, no. Thank you. It's pretty dope. I've just worked for them for 1 week so far, so tomorrow is week 2. I feel I'm better prepared for what they're asking, so we're going to see how well that goes.
Update my profile.
I will pull some strings for you, sir.
No, that's it.
yeah, because we had already given you a shout out for getting the gig a couple weeks ago, but now you're actually here, so I wanted to do it in person. You know.
Thank you very much.
It's fucking dope, man. I love that. When like Charles will tell you, like I think I was more excited about that shit than he was. I lost my mind. Like he's right from comic book resources. That's my favorite comic book site. So when I heard that, I'm like, you know, fucking awesome, man. Writing,
it's very dope.
You know. All right. Okay. Shout outs all around. So I want to give a quick shout out to Torrance Davis, Hip Hop Gamer, and Weapon X, man, for Throwdown episode 100. Crazy ass show, man. That thing was so funny. I was crying, man. Like Hip Hop was bringing his cousin in and shit.
Yeah, I listened to that on my way to work. He was like, "You can ask my cousin. You can ask my cousin." I'm like, "Yo, huh?"
For a minute, I thought that was like a colloquialism. I was like, "Is that like a thing people say?" Like, no, you can ask my cousin. He'll tell you. Like,
no, it's cousin. Yeah, I can confirm this. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna believe you because I know your cousin. So
yes, I don't think he understands how that works. It has to be an uninvolved party. It can't be just be some dude who's hanging out in your house who's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is, I only had 2 topics on that episode for that reason, man, because I knew when you get hip hop on that set, we're going off the rails. You know,
it's kind of like it's like, yo, man, I saw Jesus Christ come from the sky. You can ask him a dog. Like what?
Oh man, so that was a really fun show. Another thing, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Oakland Gamer for winning the contest during the episode. So we asked, what was the first game you ever played? And everybody, you know, they gave like kind of standard answers, Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, all that stuff. My man comes in here with Gyromite. It's like, okay, you win automatically because of that. Gyromite, for you guys don't know, it was one of the few games that worked with Robbie the Robot and shit for Nintendo. Crazy stuff, you know? So he won a $20 PSN card. I gave him that today, I believe. But I do want to quickly apologize to some of the fans, because I had said, hey, I'm going to ask a follow-up question at the end of the show. I never got around to that because of the craziness that was going on, you know.
Oh, yo, man, you bringing up people's hopes and then you smashing them down.
Bam. You know, so what I did was I asked the same question in the post, right? And then I also put a little annotation in the video, right? So people could have a chance. So the winner of that is Mr. Mike Madden. You know, he said
I was in the comment section.
Yeah, Mike Madden, he's been listening to us for a long time, but I realized I never gave this man like a prize of any sort, you know. He's so I'm gonna give him his stuff soon. And now for this episode, we're gonna have a giveaway as well. $60 I'm spending on you people. You know,
yo man, you must be rolling some dough.
Yeah, because I'm getting paid off by Sony, you know. Yeah, I don't know if you heard.
Yo man, it's that Sony money going toward an Xbox card, right?
Yeah, basically. Hilarious. So for this one, the criteria is pretty simple. The person who asks us the question of the week will win. So this kind of excludes whoever's watching us live. So sorry about that, but I already know my answer. It's like, oh, this guy asked the best fucking question. So I'm gonna give him a little something. But we're gonna talk about that after the show. And the last thing I want to say, just quickly, I want to give like a quick condolences or all that stuff to everybody I lost loved ones during 9/11. We're actually recording this on 9/11, so I felt it would be not right to not even mention it real quick. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Horrible day in America. It's funny, this thing happened 15 years ago, man. It was like yesterday, especially for New Yorkers.
But the thing is that you got to think about where we were at that point in time. Like, we still knew our buddy John. Like, friggin', I mean, we went. I think we went out after all that shit happened and bought like a Dream Theater album.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
I was stuck in traffic.
It was nuts. I mean, I'm not trying to get too into that, but yeah, man. Man, it was crazy. So I just wanted to say that. And that is it. So for this episode, we got a lot of questions. This is going to be a monster episode. So strap in and let's do this now. Okay, technically, Final Stage Boss did ask the first question, but I'm actually gonna, supersede him because I want to give.
Yo, man, you trumping him?
I'm trumping him, and for our boy Freezola79. Freezola, you guys know him from the Warzone, right? He actually did some of the intros and stuff for the Warzone. Cool dude. He asked him a question. I'm like, let's get this man's questions up there first. He's always been a big supporter of Throwdown too. Really great guy. Okay, so his first question is: you think that these 4K consoles are a really good investment?
It depends. If you don't have a 4K TV now, and you're saying, I think I'm going to buy one in 2 or 3 years, and no, they're definitely not a good investment, because in 2 or 3 years, a new console is going to come out that's going to be even better than the ones that are out right now. But if you have one right now, and if you had a 4K TV, then it's an okay investment.
But Carlos, what if 4K is the future? Wouldn't the next gen consoles support 4K also?
4K is not the goddamn future.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying people are treating it like it is, and if it actually is, wouldn't you assume that the next ones would have it also? Just like how, last generation had HD and this one had HD also?
I think next generation consoles will be 4K native ready, but I don't think that developers are going to in any kind of rush to develop for 4K.
You really think by the time next generation comes, which is what, less than 5 years from now?
Yeah.
Or 5 or so? You think they still won't have anything somewhat ready for native 4K?
Oh no, they'll have 4K. I don't think developers are going to waste a lot of the resources on it. Like it's such higher texture and such higher resolution that it's going to bog it down. Like, to a certain extent, if you make a full 4K game on a console for a 4K TV, you're going to get less bang for your buck. You're going to get less game and for honestly not that much of a noticeable difference. Like, 4K gaming looks really good, but like does it look a whole lot better than 1660? Not really. Side kind of, but for the most part, I feel like 4K is just a little bit fucking unnecessary.
Well, it is necessary. It might not be necessary, but it's more inevitable. It's something that has to happen through the whole evolution of what resolutions are going to go through as we progress through this technology. So 4K is going to be synonymous with everything that we have when it comes to TVs and monitors in the future.
Then why isn't everybody on PC playing on 4K right now? Why isn't 4K's been around on PC for a while, and still people are just 1660 is fine.
So there's several reasons. One, price. Monitors are still not as cheap as they should be by now. Two is performance. You need a really, really, really good graphics card right now in order to do native 4K at a really good frame rate. So people who play shooters and racing games and just prefer higher frame rates, if you want to play 4K at over 100 frames per second, you need a really, really expensive PC. And you can't do that on a mainstream PC at the moment. So that's why people compromise and play at 1440p to not push your graphics card much and have a better performance on your games. But yeah, but the I don't think it's a good investment right now because the consoles that are coming out right now aren't going to support 4K as well. Like I don't even think the Scorpio is even going to play 4K games that well. They're not going to do 40K 60 frames per second.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
You'll get 4K Geometry Wars.
Yeah, you
yeah.
get that, you know.
Sony will dust off Wipeout and have that in 4K. Remember that
one? What's the game Super Stardust 4K.
Yeah, so there you go.
HD. Yeah.
Not HD, 4K. Super Stardust 4K. Yeah.
So, but it might still be a decent investment if you're jumping on board the VR hype.
Would that be the 4th installment of Super Stardust if they did that too?
Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, there you go. That is something. Super Stardust 4K.
4. Yeah. I'm going to kind of go with the room here. I don't think it's a good investment just yet because even with these consoles, it's not going to be native 4K, right? It's just going to be upscaled to 4K. I know they're doing some tricks and stuff to make it look better than like standard upscaling, but it's still upscaled. I don't see the point, especially if you don't have a 4K television, you know?
VR.
Yeah, I guess VR, you know, if you want that, the graphical use for it, sure. But I think he's talking about specific, you know, go ahead, Brett.
I think it's going to be more important than people think because the biggest problem with VR is frame rate. If you have a too low frame rate, you get an unenjoyable experience and you get motion sickness. So I think if you really want a good VR experience, yeah, it might be worth it. Depending on whether or not you want to invest the money in VR into console VR or into PC VR, whatever. If you're getting the PSV, yeah.
What's the resolution of the VR of the PSVR?
It's like 1920 split over both eyes, I want to say.
So it's not even 4K. So
No. But you're gonna need your games to run at least 60 frames per second. Like you can't have a game running in VR at 30 frames a second. It'll make you sick.
So wouldn't it be kind of like running today's games, sort of in 60 frames per second?
Oh yeah, that's the only difference. It would be able to render the games that you're already playing in slightly higher resolution and give you a slightly better VR experience. But that might be critical for people prone to motion sickness. I think you'll have people that can't play VR on a regular PlayStation 4, but can play it on the PlayStation 4 Pro without getting sick.
All right. Anybody else want to chime in on this?
Meh.
All right. All right. Let's move on here. Is Sony crazy for raising the price of PS Plus?
You know what? I don't like price hikes because they never give any reasoning behind their price hikes. It's like even when Netflix does it, they don't really tell you exactly what it's going for. And I mean, I'm hoping that because we're getting this price hike, that we at least get some better service in places. You know?
Yeah, I think as it stands now, I don't think it's a good deal. There's no reason to jump the price, from the standpoint of like the content we're getting. I understand why they did it. They did it because there's going to be an influx of new PlayStation players coming with the PS4 Pro, the VR, all that shit. So I understand it from a business standpoint, but like what you're getting, especially like the last year, we haven't really had that many good games on PS Plus. So I don't.
Okay, real quick, like, have you checked the games that we're getting?
Yeah, every single month, and I've not much.
Okay, so this month we're getting Lords of the Fallen, which was a full $60 game, as well as.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you say that because it just seemed funny to me that they announced the price hike, right, and then people were complaining like, "Where are the fucking games?" And then they bring out some big games for next month. You
think Lords of the Fallen is worth it?
Actually,
I've wanted to try it.
Yeah. Charles.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
No.
Charles off, man.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, when it came out, it was pretty well received critically. It wasn't perfect; it had its issues, but it was a pretty good game.
Yeah,
wasn't it also compared a lot to Dark Souls?
Yes, it was.
It was basically one of the first that kind of branched off of that genre.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard to get a good review off of that. Like, if you're comparing yourself to Dark Souls and people still say like, it's not a bad game. Like, okay. it's probably a pretty decent game then. And regardless of how good you personally think it is like it's the price tag on the game. I'm pretty sure even like on shelves that game is still like $40. So it's not like they're shoveling you a $20 game. They're giving you a critically acclaimed game and a high price tag game. So they're at least it's way better than it's been.
Yeah,
I was actually like, holy shit, I might actually play.
Yeah, this is a game that, because of those things that Brett just said, it fits well in this PlayStation Plus ecosystem.
I don't know though. I still don't know why it justifies the price hype. It's like, yeah, we're raising up the price for this free game that's expensive that you may or may not want. You know what I mean?
Well, first off, to say it's specifically for that game, the timing is okay, but that's oversimplifying it a great deal. I'm not saying this is a good thing, but we do not know why the price went up, and
we do.
No, we don't. We literally do not.
I'll tell you why. The reason they raised it so they can make more money. End of discussion. They saw Microsoft is getting away with it. We can get away with it too. End of discussion.
All right. So like we have no actual facts on why they actually raised the price. They could have been having issues on servers for all we know. But like I said, I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I wish they would have been more transparent about those things. But there are other factors in that we would probably not consider.
I say if there was a reason, they would have given it to us.
No, I don't think so. Like,
I don't agree with that.
Lately, when it comes to those type of things, they've been pretty vocal about that type of stuff. But the fact that I personally think it's about the money, they're not going to come out and say, "Oh, it's about the money, guys," because that's obviously not going to look good.
Well, I agree because like the letter they sent to all PlayStation Plus subscribers was this generic marketing, nonsense. Where it's like, current market conditions, and we'll continue to provide exceptional service, which means we're going to charge you more for nothing.
We're going to charge you more for the
same exact service
you've been getting before.
Yes. Yeah, so that's all it is. Like if you read between the lines, it's just that, like Riku said, they're like, well, Microsoft does it. We're getting more money. We've got more consoles on the market. We've got more subscribers, so we get $10 extra a year. If you get a year, they win. We get nothing. We don't get any extra service. There's no more guarantee of uptime. There's nothing.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before. They just try to see all the markets that they could pinch more pennies from, because if you notice the UK market, they didn't do a price hype from there.
Yeah, it's true. It's only the North American market, right?
I think so.
We'll see what the instant game collection for the next couple of months look like. But as of right now, Lords of the Fallen, no. You guys can go ahead and play that. I'm gonna stay unsubscribed to PlayStation Plus for now.
Wow. Hey man, I still say Lords of the Fallen is a good gimme compared to everything we've been getting.
Well,
all right.
Yeah,
don't like
again,
games very much, and I feel like the games we've been getting are pretty dope.
Well, also, like we're paying for more than just games. Like I think people lose sight of that a lot. Like you're paying for a lot of service and you're paying for a lot of security. Like, and this is the one thing I don't know. Like I'm not sure if PlayStation hosts or Sony hosts a lot of these servers that these games are on, or if they offload them to the companies that deal with them. But like I find a lot less problems like server-wise when I'm dealing with PlayStation than I do when I'm dealing with Steam or PC. And it just because it seems like Steam, there's no standardized, like, here's how your games are going to fucking connect. And so half the time, like, my server will be down, or half the time it'll be, oh, just go ahead and set your own private server up. And it's so you're paying for security, you're paying for service, you're paying for all of these other things, and then you get free games on top of it. So there is a reason that you're shelling out the money for PlayStation Plus, and like
yeah, but Sony has the worst track record in all the things you mentioned on the consoles. Like the security is poor. I mean, they had the worst break-in and the worst data theft out of everyone.
Well, yeah, in terms of like the security record hasn't been good. In terms of actual like in-game security, I've very rarely heard of cheating or modding on a PlayStation. Even when I do hear about it on consoles, or at least, and maybe my opinion is dated, it's always been Xbox. It's always, oh, I got a modded Xbox. Never, oh, I got a modded PlayStation. It's always, oh, I got kicked off of Xbox Live they finally caught me after 3 months with my modded Xbox after I was just schooling fools in Halo.
I heard that all the time on Call of Duty.
On PlayStation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, see, maybe I'm just not hearing that. But my personal experience is like, Sony has the best track record of keeping my game free of cheaters. So
keeping your games.
Keeping my games free of cheaters. Yeah. My personal
Riku's
experience.
All right, let's move on here. Mr. Final Stage Boss comes in. All right, when a game is delayed to iron out the kinks, gamers are pissed. When a game is released with problems or broken, gamers are also pissed. Why do gamers have such a big problem when a game is delayed? Isn't that better than getting a broken game? It's not the same gamers. Damn it, Brett. Let me finish the question.
We've been asked this question so many times. It's not the same group of people. If you have a crowd and 50% of them say, you're too early if you show up too early, and then 50% of them say, you're too late if you show up too late, and you just look at the crowd as one group of one thing, you'd be like, well, what the fuck do you want? Like, nothing, because it's a group of people. Some people, you can't please all of the people all of the time. It's a simple equation, man. Yeah, there's always somebody going to bitch.
I'll agree with you to an extent, but I wouldn't say it's that cut divided. There are people that complain when both situations happen. I know people that complain about both sides. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying it's not 50-50. It's probably like 70-30.
Yeah,
that's fair. We can address those people that may say both things at both events, and honestly, it doesn't matter what they think at this point because they'll say that, but they don't invest the time to find out what those reasons are. Because if they did, then they probably wouldn't say it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. I can't really. I agree with everybody where it's like people just don't. You have a big room of people. It's just going to be like people are going to be like, this is shit. This is great. I want a good game.
Yeah, but I mean, the harder question is, isn't a delayed game better than a broken game?
And well, true.
Most of the time they are. Then you have something like No Man's Sky, which was delayed.
Yeah,
let me put it to you this way, Tony.
Go ahead,
so you have a game that's supposed to come out in September, right? And
Final Fantasy 15, for example.
Yeah, sure. And it gets now you have two scenarios. One where the game comes out in September unfinished and broken, and it's later patched, and another one where it's delayed a month into October, but it's released finished. Like at the end of the day, aren't you still getting that same Final Fantasy game complete in October? Like,
oh, you mean a patch? Like, okay, so if you release it in September, it's broken, you're gonna get it patched in October, or you can wait till October to get the full game. So either way, you get it in October. That's what, even though the game's actually coming out November 29th, people. But I see what you're saying. Either way, but I still think it looks better if you delay the game instead of releasing it broken in the first place. You know what I mean?
I think it looks better to do early access like they do on PC and just fucking cut out the middleman. That way, you're like, hey, either the game's not ready, it's not done cooking yet, or it's done cooking. Like those are your two options, and you can jump in whenever you want. If you want to jump in early, you can actually change the course of development, which is kind of cool.
Like, and they actually have a better stream of information if they do it that way too, of what works and what doesn't.
I kind of agree with Brett because there's no reason now that they can't do it. I mean, the consoles are basically closed PCs. There's no reason they can't make that work.
But the question is, will console gamers go for that, early access and stuff?
They don't have a choice.
Yeah, they're not. We're not calling the shots here. It's just like complaining about PlayStation Plus $10. Are you gonna buy a ticket to Japan and tell Shuei Yoshida you don't like it? Like he gives a fuck? Like it's not your problem. Like you don't run Sony. You don't tell anyone what to do. You could complain about it. You could grouse about it. You could cancel your pre-orders like a baby. But at the end of the day, no one cares. Shine into a canyon. No one cares.
I don't care.
Things come out as they do. Like, we got Street Fighter, didn't have a fucking choice with how that came out. Final Fantasy is delayed. We don't have a choice in how that came out. It's just the early access. It comes out and you understand this is not the finished thing, but it will be finished hopefully soon.
This is the world we live in.
don't get me wrong. I don't think it should go exactly like PC because like Star
Some of the
Citizen
shit
is a
that
great
never come
example.
out.
Like where you're like, I don't know if this game's ever fucking coming out. I really hope that it is, but like, so maybe you don't let people in alpha on consoles. Maybe you let them in on beta, which is generally where people consider a game broken or not broken because beta is feature complete. So you wait until the game's kind of done cooking, but I don't know, has it had all the wrinkles ironed out?
Right.
And then you let people just jump in whenever. And instead of saying like, oh, we're going to delay it for 3 months, be like, oh, well, we're going to put out the beta now, but the finished game doesn't come out for 3 months. So, decide what you want to do.
Yeah, oh, by the way, I want to quickly give a shout out to Brian Wilson, who's in the chat. He goes, but with the instant reactions across major social media, it seems releasing any sort of broken game will result in an early backlash that will affect sales. It's a good point.
Mm-hmm. I was going to mention that. First impressions for me is everything.
But
Yeah,
But at the same time, early social media impressions can blow things up, aka Ark or DayZ or things like that. Games that would never have seen the light of day if they hadn't almost gone mimetic and garnered the funding to actually complete themselves. Now, DayZ didn't do that, but it spawned a series of games. Like it spawned a series of games that followed in its footsteps and have made a successful new genre. So something can be said for getting people hyped up for a game in the same way. So like you releasing early, it can be a burden or it can be a boon depending on how good your idea is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. There's so many ways to go with this. All right. Next question. This one's gonna get us all fired up. Is this the worst console generation ever? It ain't looking too good. I'll tell you. I don't know about the worst, but
I know it's not over, but so far it's been very disappointing.
Yeah, so far it's been. I don't know. Again, I wouldn't say worst, but yeah, definitely disappointing. I mean, like the thing is, can you really like say, oh, it's better than Generation 1? Without Generation 1, 2, and 3 wouldn't be here now. I don't know. It's a tough one, but I'm gonna say so far. I'm not gonna say worst, but it's been disappointing because there's been a lot of remasters and fucking sequels and stuff. So. Console wise, at least, we're not talking about PC here. We're talking about the consoles.
Okay, are we looking this far into the generation? Because if I remember correctly, I feel like this far into the last generation was actually somewhat still disappointing. This far into the generation, 2007. That was 2 years in, and the generation was already crazy. We had the debuts of like what's Assassin's Creed, BioShock, Uncharted, fucking Modern Warfare. All this shit came out that year alone. So it's like, oh, that year. I thought it was like more closer to halfway through the console cycle.
Dude, 2007 was like the pre-Cambrian explosion for the gaming industry that year. It was ridiculous.
05 was the launch of the Xbox and 06 of the PS3.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I think it is too early to say if it's the worst, but it's definitely been very disappointing so far. But we talked about this on Throwdown before. We had a whole episode dedicated to this Lost Generation, episode 99. But you guys want to give in any? Actually, Charles, what's your thoughts? Because we heard from everybody here basically. What's your thoughts on this generation so far, console generation?
I actually was going to try to stay out of that conversation just because.
I'm dragging you in
for two reasons. One, because I feel like it's too soon, and two, because I play predominantly PC. So when I think of this generation, I'm thinking of everything that has come out on consoles and on PC at this time. So, and I can't separate those things as far as my experience goes. So
PC's had a good quote unquote generation.
There. Man, I don't even want to get started on the things going on with PC.
Charles schooled me today because I listed all the games I want to get this fall. He's like, "Nah, man, you got to add more shit to that." Son.
Yeah, because like if you don't have a PC, then I mean that's all you have to pull from. But you do, Tony.
Yes, I gotta hit you up, brother.
Yeah, like it's a ridiculous amount of things. So I don't share the disdain that a lot of people have for the console generation because it's a hand-in-hand experience for me. I have my PS4 games that I play and I enjoy, and I have my PC games that I play and I enjoy. There are some on the PS4 that I can only get there. There are some on PC that I can only get there. And soon, that line is going to be even more blurred because the ones that I want on Xbox that I can't get because I don't have an Xbox, I can get on my PC. So I'm like, I'm fine. And keep in mind, I play a lot of indie games. Like, the indie games for me are always there, especially since I play PC. So I'm never without a group of games to play. at any point. I'm never just like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Like if I ever say that, just tweet at me Steam backlog, and I'll be perfectly fine at that.
All right, Rico, what about you, man? I want to hear your thoughts on this generation so far.
Well, this generation has indeed been disappointing. I've only been a part of what? Which one was the SNES? What generation was that?
That was the third. SNES was the fourth.
Okay, so fourth to now, those were the only generations that I've been a part of. And out of all of those, I would say this one is the worst out of all of those as of right now. But I'm kind of like Charles, where I haven't really even been paying attention to the games that everyone are considering the games that you have to play this generation. I have been playing a lot of games, a lot of classic games that I have been missing out on that came out around the PS1 era. So I haven't even been paying attention that well enough to this generation because it hasn't interested me. So
yeah,
there's
and
that.
you play a lot of Vita games also.
Yeah.
Which
like I said, Vita and PS1 games. Like right now, I'm playing a PSP game. That's not from this generation. So I'm kind of like you. I'm not even playing the games that everyone are considering a part of the generation that everyone's mad about.
Generazione.
I like, man, Brian. By the way, Brian, like, I think we used to follow each other on Twitter before. I don't know what happened. But anyway, Brian Wilson, he goes, I have fond memories of the former gens, but how do we define greatness for the consoles? Games ordained as quote unquote classic? Question mark.
No, actually, I think the biggest thing that's very disappointing about this generation is just the shit show that the hardware has been, and I think that's kind of what puts the darker cloud over everything that has happened. So you have, because honestly, objectively, if I have to look at the other generations, I would say yes, this is the worst generation because the Wii U is a part of this generation, and everything that's happened with Nintendo has happened in this generation. So.
True shit.
Yeah, like there's going to be a massive conversation. Like 10 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, okay, so this is when Nintendo shit the bed so bad that they had to go to mobile, that the Wii U was a shit show, and the NX comes out, and we don't know about the NX, even though it's supposed to be out in a few months, and all this other stuff. Just looking at it at that lens, yeah, it's pretty bad. But as far as the software goes, it's hard to look at it while we're in it.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, you can kind of look at companies like Ubisoft, where starting off this generation, I think everyone but me was hyped for Ubisoft games. Games like The Division, Watch Dogs. I think Rainbow Six did all right. I didn't hear any negative stuff about Rainbow Six, but
no.
I know there was
it got shit on too.
Oh, really? Okay, I guess it's half and half for that one. Wasn't there a Ghost Recon game that came out too?
No. Well, that was last generation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't Ghost Recon coming out this year?
But it is. And their racing game also was kind of.
Yeah. See, and then so what I'm trying to say is that previous generations, you could use Ubisoft for example. Also, the games that they released, when they came out, they were well received, and going into this generation, you're expecting the same thing, and they're not delivering on majority of the games that they were hyping the living shit out of. You can do that with other companies, but that company right there is the most prominent when it comes to that example, and that weighs down on how you think of this generation. So it is definitely the developers. You can't really sit there and say, oh yeah, it's Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo's fault this generation is shit. No, you can blame it on the developers too, because they're the ones making the games a part of this.
I blame it on the rain.
Honestly, I would blame it more on the developers than the consoles, because they're the guys that make the games of.
But isn't it maybe because it's very hard to develop like big AAA games nowadays and stuff? It's not like it used to be. A lot of money now.
That is true. You can say that times have changed, stuff are more expensive, but what doesn't change is talent. That's why these indie games are so fucking good, because at the end of the day, they don't need this much money, and they can still come out with critically acclaimed talented, they can get some talented people together to make something that you fucking love for such a, on such a strict budget. So why the fuck can't these big guys with millions and millions of dollars, which they don't have to use all of that money just to make a good game?
I can tell you why, because games and big companies are designed by committee. There's so many people. There's so many people that have their hands in the pot that have an actual say over the way things go.
And they're also trying to make sure that they can pay all of those people that they hired after the last game blew up. They got to make sure that this next game can pay all of those people.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just vicious circle.
I hope that is answering this guy's question on why this generation is considered the worst. There's a lot of things that we can pull from.
Yeah, because you threw out the remaster. My whole steaming anime hair situation with remasters and day one patches and
sequel.
Someone said that
endless
sequel.
sequels.
Even if I look at it personally in the lens of just the games that we were familiar with and how they've been this generation, I feel like it's been disappointing. I personally was disappointed in Uncharted 4, and I may be in a minority with that, but
no, I'm with you.
Okay, yeah, I was disappointed in that. Gears, we're gonna see. I'm losing interest day to day on that one. Halo was I think that was better than the last one.
Than Halo 4, yeah.
Yeah, it was better than 4. Before, wasn't 4 kind of a step back?
It was just a meta game.
Yeah, and what else? Well, Tomb Raider's done well. Fallout had its issues. Tomb Raider has been a shining light in all of the nonsense.
Tomb Raider is fantastic. Yeah,
it's a shining light in the darkness.
I have not enjoyed any of the new Call of Duties. I've even been disappointed in Battlefield at this point.
I was calm when Battlefront, not Battlefront, fucking Backup Day 3 comes out.
Exactly. Battlefront
That too was disappointing. That too was
Battlefront was whack and I focus so much on everything else. Like newer IPs that have come out, even though some new IPs have been bad or disappointing. Like The Order was disappointing.
No Man's Sky. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh man. I don't know.
The Crew had its issues and everything. Yeah, it's just there have been good things, but a lot of those good things were not by the big developers.
Yeah, and
what about Destiny though, man?
Oh, God.
Look at
you remember me early on in the Destiny conversation then, and
that's why
I appreciated what Destiny did. Destiny's not a disappointment to me. Actually, The Division is more disappointing to me because I felt like The Division should have seen what Destiny did and been like, all right, well, we can't fuck this up, we can't fuck this up, and we can't fuck this up. And I played it, and I was like, this just isn't that fucking fun. They fucked all of that up. I'm like, you just gave us Destiny gave you the blueprint for what not to do, and then you did it anyway. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
I got my spider senses went off on that game. I knew there was something up with that game.
Division?
The Division, right? Early on, I was like, something up with this game. I don't want to.
Your spider sense went off with Destiny 2, man.
I know.
My spider sense went off on Destiny 2. I'm like, this is all we're doing, isn't it? This demo is exactly what the game is. We're just going to keep doing this over and over and over again.
Yeah, but I gave Destiny a pass because I'm like, all right, this is the first trying to do a lot of this stuff on console. Because
on console.
Bring PC into this whole other conversation. But it was the first. I was like, okay, cool. I also, because I wasn't going to get an Xbox, I was like, this is going to be my Halo experience on PlayStation. Because I love the PvP.
PvP.
In Destiny.
Definitely.
PvP is wonderful, even though they took away the big vehicle battles early on. They're back now, but that shit just blew my mind. But, I was like, all right, this is going to be the substitute for that. So I'm cool. And then it was a little bit of a shit show for a few months after that point, especially when you get into the story campaign and finishing that out. But they did improve it along the way. I don't know if Division has been improved because I just didn't invest after I tried it the first few times.
All right, let's move on here. Last question here. This is a fun one. Would you rather Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. use the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider rather than the Robbie Reyes version? Now, I want to preface it with a conversation I had with Mr. Roaming Ronin, Tony Rogers. So he goes, address the combo. Hold on, where's the question here? Let me get it here. Okay, was Robbie Reyes chosen because the character is A, comes from a minority background, B, is the current Ghost Rider in the comics, or C, is not Ghost Rider from those shitty Nicolas Cage movies? I actually answered him, and I'm going to say now, I said all of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. And they want to save him for a big movie. Maybe it's not gonna be a Ghost Rider movie, but like Tony said, maybe Doctor Strange. Get him in there, shove him in there. It's all the above.
Why are you gonna abandon the best Ghost Rider?
But Johnny Blaze?
Yeah, did you see the Nick Cage movies?
Okay, no, but still, like going from the
you could have
comic
just
wise,
did
like
Danny Ketch.
going from the comics, you can't skip over Johnny Blaze. Like you can't skip that shit.
No,
Like,
they could do like
you gotta give him a break, man.
they could do like Ant-Man. Where he's in the movie, he's just not Ghost Rider right now.
And not Nick Cage, please. He's the best. Get someone else, man.
Brett,
we can pretend those movies didn't exist.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
But some idiot's gonna remind us every now and then.
Knocking
and got a spirit of vengeance them right in the face. But like Tony hinted, and somebody else hinted as well. What if? All right, so we have this. And let's say worst case scenario, we don't get legitimate crossovers in the future with these TV show characters in the films. I hope that's not the case. But let's assume that is the case. How dope would it be to have the Johnny Blaze make an appearance in the movies, like the classic Ghost Rider, and maybe he makes a reference to this new one or something. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be pretty cool.
Normally, I would be with you. The reason I say that Johnny Blaze is critical is the whole fucking demon backstory thing. Like, it kind of starts with Johnny Blaze, and then it moves forward from that.
True.
So, like, it feels like it's... If you don't start with Johnny Blaze, you're skipping the origin story. Also, we're not talking about the Ghost Rider that drives a fucking car, are we?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
God damn it!
This is the exact reaction my dad made today when I showed him the trailer, the new trailer that came out. He was so pissed because
wouldn't he be Ghost Driver?
And he made that exact dad joke right there.
But again, here's the thing. You're not going to use Johnny Blaze in a TV show. You want to send him for the big movie because he's the Ghost Rider everybody remembers. The one Charles's dad remembers. The real Charles Singletary. So, but yeah, that's my theory. I'm like, okay, they're gonna give us a little bit of Robbie Reyes, for the TV show. You save Johnny Blaze and hopefully my man Danny Ketch for the movies,
But even then, so like, what you're just gonna put like. You're going to go in the Star Wars order where you tell the back end of the fucking story first, and then you're like, oh, by the way, here's a whole bunch of origin stuff now that you don't care anymore. Like, that's...
They could tie it into the narrative in a clip.
Like I said, they did it with Ant-Man.
They could address the ghosts in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
we don't know if they're not going to.
Like, they still were able to have Hank Pym as Ant-Man, right, in those flashbacks, even though it's Scott Lang, right?
Yeah.
Is that character, yeah. So they were still able to do it. So like they're saying, like Johnny Blaze could have just existed in before Robbie Reyes now. Like maybe they just say it happened in the 70s or whatever,
Yeah.
Like, there's this thing, the part of a demon soul got trapped in a guy and he became a spirit of judgment.
Well, yeah, but they're only just getting into that magic part of Marvel now. Doctor Strange can open that door. So forget the old Ghost Rider movies. Doctor Strange is going to be the beginning of that, right?
Yeah.
So now you can talk about it.
I would hope that the TV show would run completely separately from the movie, and they introduce Johnny Blaze, or at least the Johnny Blaze story. Like, even if they told it in flashbacks, here's the origin of this demon and blah blah blah. Go ahead.
That might happen in the show. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know if that's.
I don't want it to happen in the show. I don't want it to happen in the goddamn
well,
show.
hey man, look, this is where we're getting Ghost Rider. This is where we're getting introduced to him. So we have to deal with that right now.
Yep.
And I appreciate because a lot of people complain that the shows specifically Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't have big enough comic characters in it, and this is the biggest one that they've had so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it. Like, I'm glad that they are willing to spend the money.
You really think they're gonna do them right in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like, I'm sorry, like
I'm enjoying that show, so I'm the wrong person.
So am I. I love that show. Fuck that.
Yeah, but I don't like Ghost Rider it's such a CGI based character if you put him in TV. Like, how are you gonna do his chains? How are you gonna do his magic floating flying like chains?
Have you been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. though?
No, I have not.
Yeah. They're starting. Everything had to change.
Yeah.
Did they get a bigger budget?
Yeah, the budgets keep getting bigger every year. But here's the thing about Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, because I looked at him like, he's kind of, I guess, TV friendlier with the CG because he has it's a mask with some flames coming out of it. You could do that on a show, you know.
And shows have the budgets. I mean, look at Flash. They do CG and the Flash all the time, and they do.
Okay, well. I was impressed by the Flash, but I feel like Ghost Rider is still just out of the Flash's budget. Like, I'm like, I mean, you could
do Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider.
You could do Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider because nobody fucking cares about him, and is like, you couldn't do Johnny Blaze. Like, that's my point. Like, you couldn't do like
him for the movie. That's what
no.
Like Chains of Death.
The season 2, I think it was season 2 finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like almost Marvel movie levels as far as like the things that they were putting on that screen with the multiple Inhumans and the conflict and the CG and everything. They have the budget to do this stuff, and we just dealt with this last season of Lash and everything with him. Like they can do it. They have the budget to do this stuff.
Yeah, they could do it. They just make sure the next episode isn't budget heavy.
and my goodness, they are leaning on Ghost Rider for this season. It's called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3 Ghost Rider. I didn't even realize that until the last trailer.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. Okay, actually, I don't even like that because I'm like, is this the only story we're getting this whole season?
Wait, so he's like the center of everything? Oh.
Yeah. The first episode is called the Ghost.
Really?
Or the spirit of vengeance.
If you want to have him as a cameo every once in a while, fine. Don't censor the whole thing. I want to see. I came to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not a Ghost Rider show.
They'll probably do it where they have the season split in half. This whole first half is probably going to be Ghost Rider related. Which that bothers me because we at the end of the last season, spoilers, Daisy went kind of vigilante on everybody at the end of it, and I'm like, I would like to deal with that. At this point, that'd be kind of cool to kind of go into because she's out there fighting crime like she's one of the big heroes now. Like, how do we just not address that?
Yeah, that's weird. Cause that's the thing. It's like they've built up this great story within the show. I like Ghost Rider, but it's like don't have it like, okay, we're doing all the show, but no, we're gonna do Ghost Rider. And I was like, come on, you
gotta specify. Do you like Rob Reyes Ghost Rider? Because personally, I think his story is fucking stupid.
Brett, I'm gonna go with what Charles said. They're giving us Ghost Rider on TV. I'm gonna be good with that.
He's Ghost Driver. There's no cool demon backstory. His backstory. There was a ghost in his car, Tony. There was a fucking ghost in his car.
He drives Carrie around.
Wait, are you talking about Robbie Reyes' thing?
His origin story is he had a ghost in his car.
And besides,
his uncle's a serial killer, and it's like his spirit. That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like Robbie Reyes. I have no problem with him.
That's better. Danny Ketch just found the bike in a junkyard. It's literally he just went, hey, this is a cool bike, touched the gas cap, and became Ghost Rider. That's literally his origin. So he has the lamest Ghost Rider origin.
Wasn't that because like Johnny Blaze left like the spirit of Ghost Rider in the bike and went dormant?
Yes, but nobody knew that. They had to explain that issues later. It literally.
I knew that. Like, I totally knew that. Like that's why I say like you can't skip Johnny Blaze unless you go right to Robbie Reyes, in which like there's a ghost in the car and they set it on fire. So somehow that makes him fucking Ghost Rider.
But here's the thing. he put his soul in his Ghost Rider's soul in his bike and just left it in some random junkyard. That's kind of stupid.
This isn't like Herbie the Love Bug. You just dump him and then somebody else finds him later.
Yeah, I guess
there's plenty of narrative precedents for the soul of a powerful entity getting left in an artifact and abandoned, going into a dormant stage, only to be touched by somebody who becomes a hero and awakens.
Listen, Johnny Blaze knows enough about Ghost Rider to not leave his stupid bike somewhere, so some douchebag searching through a dump could find it.
I always thought it wasn't I always thought it wasn't totally his choice though. It's been a while.
Ghost Rider goes up, leave the bike in the dump, so that someone can find it.
All right, I want to move on, but I want to move on, but I just want to say this, Brian. No, we're not going to start talking about Gotham. Fuck that show.
No,
only if Batman shows up on Gotham.
No, no,
not even that. It's gonna be Bat Kid.
Yeah, Bat Kid.
Bat
so
Kid.
Stupid. Anyway,
Bat Kid did show up on there. That would actually make the show pretty fun.
Isn't he already being trained to fight currently?
Yeah, I know. It's so stupid. Such a dumb show.
Is it Alfred teaching him?
It's Alfred.
I'm going to teach you how to fight in martial arts.
Master Bruce. All right, let's move on here. Mr. Roman Ronan actually asking us some questions. So he goes, congratulations on 100 episodes on the Coalition, guys. Started listening around episode 26 and look forward to many more episodes to come. Thank you, good sir. All right, he goes, his first question is, I was a huge Sonic fan as a kid. It's the reason I got a Sega Genesis, read the comics, and watch the Saturday morning cartoon, Sat-Am for Sonic fandom. I just went scrolling through Netflix, and when I came across the Sonic Underground series, in 2 words, not good. It's the 25th anniversary of the original Sonic games release, and man, it has been filled with at least a decade and a half of misstep after painfully agonizing misstep. What do you think has been the worst Sonic blunder? Ooh, man.
Letting him exist past 1999. That was the worst one.
Sonic Unleashed.
Is that the one where he became a werewolf?
That's Werewolf Sonic.
It's not even 06. It's not Adventure 2. It goes back before that. Like, Sonic was a product of the 90s, and he should have stayed there.
Hey, the Sonic Dreamcast game was amazing.
Hey guys, that was designed by committee.
Well, you remember it as amazing, and I remember it as fun, but it's really kind of a.
Oh no, Chris! Just to clarify, I loved Sonic Adventure when it first came out. I played it. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, it's a mess.
2 to 3 years later, I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible.
Yes, it's a mess, and the second one's even worse. Sonic 06 is probably the worst thing ever.
Oh, don't let Riku hear that.
Oh no, I'm listening. You got your opinion. I don't care for it.
I'm gonna come over to your house.
I was just waiting for you to say, "Oh, Riku, what you got?" I was just letting you guys say what you need to say.
All right, yeah, let's keep going. Okay, I don't really. There's been so many Sonic missteps. I can't name one. I'm gonna go with Sonic 4. Remember that travesty? That was the game that promised to bring Sonic back to its roots, and it was the most fucked up bullshit. Like, it didn't even work correctly and stuff.
They just sold out too.
When I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's it. Just kill this fucking franchise. This is some bullshit right now. Fuck Sonic. You know, I'm glad they're doing Sonic Mania, finally getting back, to the Sonic we're supposed to be getting. But yeah, this just been like, since 1999, just fuck up after fuck up after fuck up with this franchise. And then Sonic Boom, oh man,
Sonic 06 is the classic shit show of all of those games.
That would be my pick as well.
I'm gonna go earlier than everybody and say Sonic Pinball.
Oh shit!
You didn't like Sonic Pinball?
No, I liked Sonic Pinball. That's the tragedy. Is I liked Sonic Pinball even though I knew that this is kind of a crap game. Like, this is clearly just thrown together in like a few months. And they're like, it's a pinball game. Let's throw some Sonic shit on it. There's like half a dozen decent levels, and then like it's just bad.
It's a decent pinball game, but it makes absolutely no sense.
I like the game, but I kind of see where Brett's coming from.
Yeah.
The franchise is doing something it shouldn't be doing.
It was just a weird pinball game with a Sonic skin slap. It was a rushed pinball game with a Sonic skin slapped over it, and I just loved Sonic enough to be like, yeah, Sonic Pinball, but really
it's not called Sonic Spinball.
Sonic Spinball.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Sonic Spinball. Got to get it right. My thing was like he didn't control right as Sonic outside of the pinball segments. I'm like, wait, what? But I still enjoyed the game. But I was like, what, 14 at the time, 15. So
yeah, but if we're talking about the worst blunder, not the thing you hated the most, but like the worst blunder, it's Sonic Spinball. Like that's just clearly a money cash grab attempt. Like, I don't know, let's make more Sonic stuff. Pinball? He spins, right? There's some pinball-y parts in the actual game. Kids will love this.
Yeah, but back when that was made, everybody was like shelling out stuff. I mean, you had Mario is missing. You had
that wasn't Nintendo.
Yeah, but that's Nintendo. That's what I mean. I mean, they licensed games to Philips. They made 2 Zelda games that were shit. Like that was a time when everybody was just like more of this franchise and just whoring them out and just getting horrible stuff. So you can't blame them at that point.
I don't blame them. That still just doesn't make it a good idea.
All right, Riku, I want you to get in here because I know you have some different thoughts on Sonic, at least Sonic Adventure games.
All right, so I personally think it went to shit with 06. Everything before 06? Oh shit. Everything before 06 was you can always find someone before 06 that would be like, oh yeah, I like this game. Oh, I like this game. You didn't like that one? Oh, I like that one. You could always find at least one person out there, but I can't find one single person out there that can vouch for Sonic 06. And the fact that Sonic 06 was rushed, you know, and it was supposed to be Sonic Adventure 3, but then they took the title off, they rushed it out the door, they kicked Yuji Naka out, and they tried to have that relationship between Sonic and the princess, and it was just
they kissed, didn't they?
Yeah, the bestiality and shit.
That was so stupid. And it was sad because I wanted to like that game so much because they had the new Hedgehog coming in silver. He was cool. He was like basically Future Trunks for the Sonic universe and all this stuff. And even in the comics, he's cool. He's a cool character in the comics and all this other shit. But 06 is just a fucking complete.
Not to mention that the controls were like horrible. You could barely play that game.
Yeah, it was unplayed. That was when I dropped off because every Sonic game before that, I had at least some fun with it. Like Shadow the Hedgehog, I had some fun with that. Sonic Heroes, I had some fun with that. Sonic Riders, I had some fun with that. But when 2006 came out, I was like, wow, they got me. Were you guys trying to make me have 0% fun? Well, you did it. Mission accomplished. You have succeeded and made me put down Sonic. And every game after that, I just didn't even look at like Sonic Unleashed. Played a little bit of the demo, and then the Werehog shit started, and then I deleted the demo. Everything after that, I was just like,
what the fuck is this?
I think the best is when Manny and I went to try Sonic Boom in 2014 at E3. And we had the same reaction. Like, this is not finished.
This game is not finished.
Like, and the guy was like, no, it's done. And I'm like,
it'll get better. Yeah. Will it?
No, it won't.
It got worse.
and then there's people that will say games like Sonic Generations or Sonic Colors and that other one that came out for Nintendo where it was supposed to be Sonic's Mario Galaxy and it was like over the head and whatnot. They're saying that those 3 are good, but those were all on the Nintendo side. I was thinking of Sonic overall. It's still a pretty shitty franchise now, and I just read the comics and move on with my life.
Yeah. Hey,
Yuji Naka.
Hey, Rico, you like this. So one of the guys in the chat called Rico the Beast. He goes, I agree with Riku. The Sonic Adventure games were great. So there you go.
Yeah, and it's funny when you guys said you played it back in the day and it was fun, and you came back and played it again and it was shit. Yeah. I played those games when they first came out. I thought they were great. And then when they came out on PSN, I still thought they were pretty fun to play. I did see some like frame rate issues and some little glitches that I didn't notice back in the day, but I still had a shit ton of fun with both of those.
For me, it wasn't even graphical. It was like gameplay with it. And I played it 2 years later. I'm like, man, this controls horribly. What the fuck was I thinking? Why did I like this? And I got 100% in that shit too, Like
100% trophies or 100% like
100% of the game. Like
trophies didn't exist back then. But if they had, I would have got 100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and Tony bred all the chows. We did all that shit.
I did all the fucking.
I still think all the
fishing
yeah.
shit,
When I went back on PS3 and I did all the child stuff, that shit was still fun to me. All of that stuff was still good.
How did they handle the part with the VMU?
VMU, yeah, that's how I used to do it.
I don't even think that little station was in there. It just wasn't there. Yeah, it just wasn't there.
All right.
But,
let's move on because we got a ton of questions tonight. All right, this is a fun one. Xenomorph fan or Predator fan? Quality of movies, then concept design. Okay, so basically the question is, do you like? Let's go with that. Okay, do you like the Predator movies or Alien movies first? Let's answer that part.
Aliens.
Yeah, I gotta say for the movies, I gotta go with Aliens.
Shit. Here's
Aliens.
the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Aliens. The thing, I'll get to the second part of the question is like, which one do you like more? I like the Predators more, but there's only really been one good Predator movie.
The
first one.
That's it.
The concept and design for Predator is wonderful, but the execution just has not been there. And I honestly, I didn't hate the most recent Predator movie that much. Honestly,
You mean Predators?
Yeah,
The Robert Rodriguez one? No, yeah, the Robert Rodriguez one was pretty good.
yeah, I enjoyed that one.
It was almost like a weird.
By that point.
It was almost like a weird remake of the first one.
I gotta say the extended universe for Predator was fucking awesome though.
Yeah.
Like the comic books and like you can get deep into it. Like I was a huge Predator nerd when I was a kid, so like you get like into the weird tribal society and like how the home planet works and how different hunters rank in different castes of society and how they have to leave when they're juveniles. Like most of the predators that you actually see in the movies are like young juveniles. They're not warlords. Like the strong predators all go back and kill a bunch of other fucking predators and then become like giant war chiefs. There's some cool shit that goes on, and then it bleeds into like really cool Alien versus Predator stuff, as like Predator Homeworld Society meets Xenomorphs, and like the whole concept where like the shitty movies came from, like where they actually staged these areas where they would hunt, where they would actually like breed the Xenomorphs, and part of the concept was one of the reasons that the aliens actually still exist is because the Predators just fucking let them, because it makes cool stuff to hunt.
All right, so yeah.
Sorry, that was just a nerd tangent there.
No, Brett, this is what we do on Throwdown. It's all right. Okay, so what about the concept design? Which one do you prefer more then?
Aliens.
The aliens are good. Plus, their designs change. Like depending on what the alien breeds from, the design changes. Right? They get a whole new type of thing.
I'm gonna go Predators because when I think of the concept and design, I wasn't thinking of just their form factor. I was thinking of stuff like what Brett said, like their entire concept. They had like their background and stuff like that.
I remember when I was a kid watching the first movie, right? Like, remember, like, he set off that giant bomb that blew up, like, almost, like, the entire forest. I'm like, yo, if that's, like, a weapon they use just to hunt, what are their war weapons like? You know, that's the thing that got me. I'm like, yo, that's crazy, you know?
Yeah, you're just like, this is just one predator.
Yeah.
Think about that. You imagine an army of warrior predators. Remember, we only saw hunter predators. Warrior predators against, like, another civilization. It would fuck their shit up.
Well, again, nerding out on you, Tony, there's no such thing as a hunter-predator. What happens is when a predator reaches juvenile, like not even adulthood, but juvenile, they're sent out into the world to gather a certain amount of skulls to prove their proficiency. Otherwise, they're exiled from predator society. So, the predator that you see in the movie is like the equivalent of like a 14-year-old boy.
Wow. Damn, that's crazy.
And Danny Glover's like, man, I'm due for retirement.
No, that predator was actually like a little bit more advanced, but it was still out on its like weird hunting phase. Like it had enough skulls that it was probably about to go back. So it was young adult, but like still even in the backstory, like if you want to see the equivalent of like a fully grown, fully mature predator, like they have like bigger ridges and they're like big fucking hulking beast things, like little spine things coming out of them, and they will just like wreck it. Like it's easy to see the power discrepancy, like when you like read the comics and you see a fully mature predator, like a young predator comes up like after it just finishes its hunt and thinks like it's big shit, and a mature predator just like walk up and like rip its goddamn face off. Like it's like
it's like the
it's
extreme
like
version of Klingon.
Anybody Klingon's fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. By the way, you know, because we were talking about Predator 2 specifically. I love that scene where Danny Glover goes into the Predator ship and he sees that fucking alien skull there. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
that's what started the whole stupid alien
linking the
Predator.
universes.
Yeah,
that was cool. Even though if you think about it, how does it have a skull if it's an exoskeleton?
It has this exoskeleton.
All right.
Also, go ahead, before
Brett.
we move on, I gotta say, and I'm pretty sure I've raved about this on the podcast, but I rave about this all the time otherwise. So I gotta say, in terms of sheer concept and design, I gotta give it hands down to Alien, and I'm gonna be a little. Yeah, well, it was designed by Geiger, and Geiger did some really interesting things with the
Giger, as I called him.
Yes, well, he did some really interesting things with the concept of Alien and the design. This is one of those points where like I really nerd out as an artist because you can actually see the influence and how much of a genius, even though he's a terrifying motherfucker. Like he wanted to include the idea of sexuality, of femininity, of beauty, but covered like in this weird, like, I hate to use this term, alien kind of form. Like even in the idea of how the alien mates, it has this inherent idea of sexuality, of rape, of this kind of forced pregnancy, which he did intentionally because it draws at these dark places of the human psyche. Like they're things that they're too dark to really think about, and they're the worst things that you can think about. Like rape is fucking dark, and to put that element into a monster on top of like the idea that this monster will destroy you, this monster will eat you, this monster will cause you pain, but the idea that this monster will, like, in a sense, rape you and impregnate you and then make you live through this horrible experience of being eaten out from the inside. Like, everything beginning to end was specifically designed to be just fucking horrifying. And, like, you gotta give it up to Geiger for that, because it's the long, slender, almost female like thighs of the alien that then go down into like the weird bug-like kind of feet. Like it's the weird, and I hate this word so much, it's the weird juxtaposition of like sensuality, sleekness. Like the alien is sexy like a muscle car is, but it's also fucking terrifying. And so for that reason, like, you got to give it up to Geiger.
And you like the fact that it has an upside down dick for a head.
Not so much, but I like it when they get a little further away from just the phallic banana head and they start getting some of the cool ridges. But it's this weird idea that he toyed around with. Like, he's gonna take masculine elements and feminine elements and hypersexualize them and then put them into this monster, because it's the combining of familiar good elements with terrifying bad elements that really just fuck with the psyche. It's the little girl singing a nursery rhyme where she shouldn't be singing a nursery rhyme that really just unnerves you in a way. So, like, as cool as the Predator design is, like, it's not puppeting the psyche the way that the Xenomorphs do.
Awesome. All right, let's move on here. This is a fun question. Okay, which movie, if you had seen it in the theaters, would you have walked out of? He says, I saw The Village on HBO and realized I wasted my time.
Hey, man. Hey, The Village is not that bad.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I will have this
Wait,
argument.
You know what? Hold on. I know for a fact he would not have walked out of the theater because you didn't realize The Village was bad until the end of the damn movie.
I know. That's why I'm mad that I didn't get the chance to walk out.
Yeah. Okay. I have kind of a couple answers here, but I'm going to go with the first Transformers movie by Michael Bay, right? I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it at home, and I was like, yo, why are we watching this? This is the stupidest fucking movie. Like, if it was the movies, I would have just left. It was just ridiculous, hated that fucking movie. Also, this is a recent one, too. There was a Hercules movie with The Rock. I stopped watching it after 15 minutes. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
I thought that thing was hilarious.
I thought it was dumb as shit.
The Scorpion King with The Rock would fall into that category as well.
Man,
oh, come on.
Scorpion King's not that bad.
Scorpion King wasn't walk out of the theater bad. You know what's walk out of the theater bad? The Last Airbender. I watched that. I watched that on DVD.
That wasn't even walk into the theater bad. That was
that's true, because I didn't. I was watching it on TV, and seriously, 15 minutes, not even 15 minutes, like 10 minutes in, I was like, yeah, no. I can't deal with this. I couldn't, and I haven't gone back to it since then.
This goes hand in hand with The Last Airbender. I've only seen clips of it, but I know I would walk out as soon as like the first second starts. Is Dragon Ball Evolution, man?
I saw that in the movies.
Oh, you did?
Why?
Because at the time it was one of our coworkers' birthday, and he wanted to see that film. So rather than not go, we went to see it. Oh my god, that movie is so.
Yeah. By the way, before I let everybody else go, I got a quick story. It's funny, right? We were watching Batman Forever. This is a Val Kilmer movie, right? Watching it at home, right? And our boy, we're gonna call him Evil Chris, right? That's what we used to call him. He didn't want to watch this movie. Like, this movie looks stupid. I don't want to watch it. But our boy was like, Bernard was like, yo, just watch this movie. It's really good. We're watching it. Watch it, right? There's this one point where the Batmobile, is driving up to a building, and he shoots like a rope up, right? And Chris like, yo, if that Batmobile goes up the side of that building, I'm gonna punch you and I'm gonna walk away. This Batmobile goes up the side of the building. Chris gets up, punches Bernard in the arm really hard, knocks him over, and walks out.
Fuck this shit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, what movies do you guys have?
Does it count if you get to the end like The Village, where if you would have known how bad it was gonna be, you would have walked out, but you didn't get to know until the end?
Yeah, I think it's just like if you saw a movie you saw at home, and it's like, man, I would have walked out the theater on this bitch.
The Village does not count because you will stay to the end.
Yeah, The Village doesn't count in that instance. But there's a lot of movies that you're like, man, this movie's got to. Okay, perfect example. My choice would be Snowpiercer. I waited that whole goddamn movie for that thing to get better and for shit to make sense. And spoiler alert, you know how it ends? She's gonna fuck that little Inuit kid. That's there's no way you see oh, there's polar bears out there.
I like that movie.
Well, they walk out in the fucking snow because they see polar bears. You do realize you're not a polar bear just because there's an animal in the wild. There's life out there. We can live out there. No, you can't. I know you're an Inuit or some shit like that, but you have no survival training. You've lived in a train your entire life. You are not prepared to live out existence in this post-apocalyptic nuclear winter wasteland. And if you do survive on bear meat and sheer hope, the best case scenario you have is you're gonna fuck that 3-year-old kid. You are gonna raise that 3-year-old to fuck him and become a broodmare. So what, you could start another small Inuit tribe? I understand where the story ends, but then you take 5 minutes to think about the fucking consequences of what the story tells you, and you're like, wow, that's either really dark or it doesn't make any sense. You're going to die.
But Chris Evans knows what babies taste like.
Yeah, okay. It's just it's one of those
Come on, that was an awesome line. He's like,
it was.
Myself. I know what babies taste like. Oh,
okay. Yeah, but you get to the end of that movie, and it's one of those things where somebody's like, I'm gonna do this on principle, I'm gonna end this because it's bad. Really, it's worse than not having humans at all. And it's the principle of the thing, so I'm gonna kill a bunch of people and then just let 2 people out into a post-apocalyptic wilderness, because that's gonna fucking save the human race. Oh, okay, I'm done.
I'm gonna say it's between Wing Commander.
Ooh, we almost did walk out of that shit.
We almost did. You know what kept us in there? They fucking lied to us. They said they were going to show the trailer for episode 1 after the movie was over. Didn't show it.
We wanted to walk out of that shit. That was
we were literally outwardly making fun of that film, literally screaming shit out. Other people too.
Exactly. Everybody was talking through it and stuff. It was horrible. What else, Manny? Wing Commander and what else?
Wing Commander and the 6th Day.
Ooh.
Wait, no, not the 6th Day. What was the one where Arnold Schwarzenegger was possessed by Satan?
End of Days.
End of Days. There we go. I like the 6th Day. End of Days was horrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember, we saw that shit for free.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah. It's a fucking terrible movie.
And we wanted to walk out of that.
Wow. All right, Riku, what you got?
All right. I'm not a big movie guy, so I only have one. Was this even in theater? If it was, I would have walked out on it. Splice.
Spliced. Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So you've watched that one, or you just heard of it?
I've made it to a part of that movie because I stopped watching it. It was pretty bad. No.
Okay. I think you were telling me about it when you were.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I couldn't watch that whole thing. So Rico, I don't blame you on that one.
Yeah, fucking Splice. That I don't know how far you got in, but
it doesn't get any better. I'm guessing.
It's like around like the 75% of the way point. The story writer was just like, all right, now I'm gonna really make you wanna just leave. If you're not leaving now, something's fucking wrong with you. And I'm already fucked up. I watched Human Centipede, all three of them, 3 times each. So that was nothing to me. But I wouldn't have paid for that, and if I did, I would have walked out on it.
Damn.
But that ending was just like, he was trying to go for like a. Everyone knows the plot twist at the end of Berserk where it pisses you off. He was trying to go for something like that, but in a completely different way.
Why would you go for something like that?
Because he wants to fuck. Because he wants, just like Kentaro, he wants to fuck with you. But the thing is, Kentaro has characterization behind the characters that this is happening to. He didn't, so he was just doing it for the sake of doing it, and it just came out like. It's like, ew, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on?
Oh man. All right. Hey Charles, did you say something? Because I know you were talking about that fucking Village movie.
Last Airbender, bruh.
Oh yeah. Ugh. Ooh, I shouldn't have asked you again.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it again, but you made me say it again.
Too many people on today. Chris, what you got?
Oh well, I actually walked out of Batman and Robin. I have walked out of the movie. That movie was so bad.
You got to shift your head to it being a comedy, and it's gold. Whole time.
No, I would rather watch the original 1966 Batman the movie with the shark repellent and the penguin dressed like the Commodore. I'd rather watch that shit. And then
Commodore Smidlap.
Yes. Commodore Smidlap was way more acceptable than the Bat credit card or the Rubber Lips or Bane or any of the other shit.
They had a Bat credit card?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
They also had ice skates because somehow they psychically knew they were going to fight an ice villain. Like, there was just too much ridiculous nonsense in that movie.
You want to hear the even sadder part of it? Rick Baker worked on that film.
Wow.
Oh, and he also worked on Batman Forever, too.
Here's the funny thing about that movie. I've seen the entire movie, but not at the same time, because I could only watch it in 15-minute intervals. That's how bad that movie is. Oh, yeah. Like, remember they were trying to proposition, like, well, they were offering somebody money. Dick Grayson was, like, trying to outbid Bruce, and he's like, how are you going to get the money? He's like, I'll borrow it from you. I'm like, really? This is stupid. Dumbass movie.
Oh, come on, Tony. That was witty banter.
Yeah,
yeah, it was something, but yeah, I got up and left. I think at the point when Poison Ivy told Bane to do something, and she hits a button on his chest like he's a giant wind-up toy, he like hits a button and then he does it. I got up and left. I was like, I'm done. Forget it. My sensibilities have been completely just shot to hell.
Oh, so that Bane was too much for you?
No, there was a point in the movie I was trying to stomach. Like Charles said, I was trying to just look at it, just like, all right, Arnold's in it. I'm going to just try to deal with this. The first 15 minutes was just completely insanely stupid. And I'm still trying to get through it. And then maybe I was like 30 minutes in and that happened. And I was like, I'm done. I'm good. Yeah, the meter went to like boiling and I just left.
Man. All right, Carlos, what you got?
Son.
Yeah, I said Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, God, why did you? Oh, you both of you guys said that shit?
No.
Really? Man, you
said no. I said I saw it.
Yeah, but why would you? Both of you saw that? Ugh.
I saw it in the movie. Listen, listen. If a friend wants to go see a stupid movie, I'll go see it.
Yeah,
and it's his birthday.
Theaters.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right about it because I saw that stupid Facebook movie because Mike wanted to see it. Terrible fucking movie. You know. And Brett, did you go?
Yeah, I said Snowpiercer just because it pissed me off for like 3 days after that.
You are a shoot, but it had such a great lead up though.
It did have a great lead up, but I think that's one of my problems is like when I wait for a payoff and then the payoff just doesn't come and I'm like, oh god damn it.
Would it have been better if they just crashed the train and didn't show the kid and stuff at the end?
I think so, because that at least would have been resolved as like a tragedy, like an action tragedy. It was this weird false hope that like, yeah, it's just the kid at the end, like, oh, there's like a hope they're gonna survive. It's like, no, they're not. Not if you think about it for 3 minutes, but and I only bring that one up because The Village was already said. The Village is my number one. The Village makes me want to punch anybody within.
What about Lady in the Water or Signs?
No, just The Village, because The Village is the only thing that's like malicious in its intent. The Village, like, you go to the movies, you pay $12, you get your fucking popcorn, you sit there for an hour and 20 minutes worth of lead up, and you're like, hey, I came to see a movie about like super like ghosts or monsters or something like that. Like, you paid to be there. You put yourself in a position where you suspended disbelief, and then M. Night Shyamalan takes a shit in your mouth and says, haha, that's what you get for believing in magic, dumbass. Like, motherfucker, this is movies. Magic can exist in movies.
Well, wait a minute. But why not Lady in the Water, where he literally cast himself as the greatest writer in the world?
Yes.
Because at least it didn't
and
lie
the villain
to
of
you.
the movie's villain is a critic.
Yeah, well, like that.
I'm not
that
lying
was
about
just,
that one.
No, I know that movie was just clearly like there was ham-fisted. There's no other way to put that. But the village is where he got me. And I even remember walking out of the village, and I had forgotten about Unbreakable because I looked at the person next to me, and I was so mad. I was like, "Tell you what, M. Night Shyamalan, why don't you just make a superhero movie next, and just make the whole super movie, and then you never make it so that it's just some psychological problem. He never had any fucking superhero powers to begin with, and fuck me for actually believing in a superhero movie and going to see a superhero movie." They're like, have you not seen Unbreakable? And I was like, oh, God damn it.
Unbreakable's great.
Oh, don't get me started on that fucking movie. Man, that movie and Science, I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna watch anything from M. Night Shyamalan ever again. This guy's fucking a hack.
Shamalama ding dong.
Yeah, because he's like, what are you here to see, a racing movie? Racing doesn't exist.
Oh, my weakness is water, and I just found out about this now. Fucking stupid. You know, he made Bruce Willis into an idiot twice. You didn't know you were dead. You didn't know your weakness was water. Fucking dumb.
So now,
and then he used the water
weakness is bad now.
Yes, I hated that movie too. You know, don't let me start. I hate anything by M. Night Shyamalan. He is terrible. You know.
Shamalama ding dong.
Let's move on. Last question. This is for Riku. He goes. He goes. Heard Riku might be on Throwdown 100, so not sure if he's answering questions. Yes, he is. He goes. I got 2 friends into watching One Piece from the beginning, including Charles. My other buddy recently hit me up saying these powers in the series are absolutely ridiculous. He just witnessed the door fruit power, and I told him hold on because it gets worse. Okay, Riku. Here's the question. What is the most ridiculous devil fruit power you have ever seen in the series? He goes, pretty sure the jacket fruit is the worst.
Do you want me to spoil it for him? Is he giving me like?
You're only spoiling it for me. He's caught up.
Well, you're spoiling it for me too, but answer the question just before.
Charles,
honestly, I agree with him that the jacket fruit is probably the fucking worst.
How does that one work?
Honestly, I can't even remember. That's how stupid it was.
It's someone allows himself to be his skin or his whole body is a jacket to someone else's body.
Just a jacket.
Yeah, let's say it's like fucking Face Off. It's like you put like Tony's body like on you, like it's like your cover. It's so stupid, man.
It's a curse that allows you to wear someone else's skin.
All I'm saying is that you might be listening right now thinking that One Piece has some ridiculous, abilities. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure can give them a run for their money for getting Bizarre, so you might want to check that out. But I don't think it gets as straight up stupid, to the point where that shit is useless, as One Piece does. The ones in JoJo's are probably just as ridiculous, but at least they had some reason behind it. Or you're like, yo, I can actually see this being dangerous in some bizarre way. And One Piece is just like, okay, you're a fucking jacket.
Well, you also got to understand where you're getting into, especially with One Piece. One Piece is not a fucking serious show.
Yeah,
it's a total joke.
I guess.
I mean, come on. Even with Dragon Ball Z in the beginning, like it was in general. It's supposed to be a lighter, goofy show. I mean, they're literally fighting werewolves and Frankensteins. You know, you know what I mean?
What's the name of the guy who makes One Piece? Is Oda, right?
Yeah, Eiichiro Oda.
Yeah, see, he's perfectly said with Luffy, he wanted to give him the stupidest power he could think of and make it cool. So the show's not really supposed to be serious, you know?
I mean, he said that back in the 90s when he was making it. It does have a serious moment, so the Whitebeard stuff. That's pretty fucking serious.
All right, moving on here. Mr. Seth. All right, is the Xbox Scorpio just an Xbox One S upgrade? And he goes on to say, if MS only releases the same Xbox One games on the Scorpio, then the next Xbox will release in 2019. If the Scorpio has its own exclusives, then the Scorpio will be on the market alongside the new PlayStation 5, unless you can continuously upgrade the Scorpio. Anyway, to the answer to the main question, is it an upgraded Xbox One S? No, it's more than that. Far more than that. You know, from what we hear about the Scorpio, again, it's just rumors right now. It's supposed to have, like, our favorite word, 6 teraflops, and a bunch of other shit. You know, it's almost pretty much next gen.
But how many bits is it?
How many bits? Yeah.
How many bits is it? Is it 100?
It's 1,000 bits, man.
How much mega power does it run?
But yeah, that's my answer. It's not an upgraded Xbox One S. It's a totally different system, but it's still going to run Xbox One games on it. You know, that the whole thing with like exclusive games for this one console, that's done. They're not going to do that. They're going to do it like, with PC. You have your shit on Steam. It can run old games. It can run new games. It's going to be like that now. So that's a good thing. At least we're gonna not have backwards compatibility problems, unless the games are on PS3, 2, and 1. Then you can't play those unless you get PS Now, right? Yeah. Anyway, chime in, guys.
For the question about the Scorpio just being the Xbox One S upgrade.
Yeah.
I personally would think so. I would say so.
Oh, so you think it is an upgraded Xbox One S?
Yeah.
How is this a question? It is an upgraded 1S.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I don't know.
It plays the same games. It just does so at like a higher fidelity.
Yeah, I'm just using
the same generation.
Going by the word upgrade. It's not saying it's in a whole nother generation, but it is an upgrade.
Yeah, it's just a better version of the S. And so if you're then going from like, I have an Xbox One S, would it be an upgrade to go to the Scorpio? Like, yeah, it's just an upgraded version. It just does the same thing but better. So by definition, it's kind of an upgraded version, isn't it?
It just depends on what kind of way you're looking at it. If you're looking at it as a hardware sense, then it's not just an upgrade. It's something completely different.
Yeah.
But
it would be completely different if it played different games, though.
Well, yeah,
it does the same job.
That's why I said hardware-wise.
I'm sticking with hardware, because it's like, Doom came out in 1993, right? I can still play that shit now, right? The hardware is different, but it still plays the same games, right? So it is different hardware-wise, a PC from 1993 and now.
I'm not even going that far into it. I'm just saying, does it do the same job? Yes. Like, it'd be like if I had two Blu-ray players, but one of them was 4K and the other one wasn't. Would you say that one is an upgraded version? Like, yeah, because they both do the same job. They both play Blu-rays, and one does it in an upgraded capacity. So I don't know.
I see what you're saying, but I'm sticking with just the hardware. So it is, it is an upgrade in that sense, but it isn't because it's different. But again, like I'm saying, we're not going to see like exclusive games stuff anymore. That's in the past now. It's all going to be backwards compatible now. Understand?
Yeah, no.
Like when you get the PS5, you'll still be able to play PS4 games on it.
How do you know that?
Maybe.
Well, that's what they're going for. That's what they're both saying. That's what Microsoft and Sony are saying. Backwards and forwards compatible. They're both saying the same thing. They said they want to be kind of more like Steam now.
Yeah, because I can see what Tony's saying, because if you look at the graphical power upgrade from the S to the Scorpio, it's like what, more than 3 times
Yeah.
powerful graphically. Like, that's not an upgrade. An upgrade is just a subtle overclock, or little things like the bus speed increases. The little things like PS Pro did. That's an upgrade, right? There's nothing in that machine, like, besides it got a big jump too, but not that big of graphical fidelity. Like the 4.2 teraflops, I think maybe is the PS Pro. This is 6. It's like huge.
Yeah.
That's almost a generational leap. So
and the PS4 GPU is more powerful than the Xbox One GPU, so
Yeah.
it's even bigger of a jump.
yeah, it's a huge leap. So it's almost a generational leap, but they're saying it's not. So if you go by what they're saying, then it's not. If we're in iterative generations, then I guess not. I guess it's just an upgrade, right? So we have to call it.
All right. Anybody else want to chime in on this?
Nope.
Nah.
All right. So last question from Mr. Seth. Okay, what's the better deal for a consumer that does or does not have a 4K HDR TV / monitor? PS4 Pro or Xbox One S?
Xbox One S.
Xbox One S.
What's the better deal for a consumer that I haven't got the question?
Oh, well, okay, I'm going to break it down simply. Okay, if you have a 4K television, what's the better deal?
Well, how much does the?
Oh shit! Did he dip?
Yeah, I don't know if it might have his internet.
No, he says it right there. He said he had a bounce. I wasn't even looking at it because I'm looking at the chat and shit. Okay. I don't know what. Okay. Anyway, Brett, what were you saying? God damn it! I wanted Charles to say bye. Fuck. Anyway, go on.
How much does the Xbox One S cost?
$299.
And how much? And the PlayStation Pro is $399.
Yes.
I'd still say the yes then.
Okay, but for a 4K television?
If you have a 4K television, the Xbox or the PlayStation.
Okay, and if you have a regular television, Xbox S, right?
Yeah, unless, like I said earlier, unless you're looking to get into VR, in which case I would definitely recommend the Pro.
Yeah, so basically this is a two-part question, just to simplify, Carlos, like which system is better for 4K and which system is better for non-4K?
Yeah, I thought, like Brett, I thought for 4K, I thought the PS4 Pro, I guess, unless you play UHDs a lot, like UHD Blu-rays, physical ones at least, then the Xbox One S would be better for that. But yeah, as far as graphics fidelity, the Pro is significantly better than the S when it comes to games, and it's just $100 more. So that would be my choice.
I would almost say the PlayStation Pro to be like, even on a non-4K TV, you're gonna get higher frame rates. You're gonna get crisper looking games. Like for $100 more, I would. I mean, especially if you consider like $100 difference is the cost of PlayStation Plus for a year, basically. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with the PlayStation Pro 4. PlayStation 4 Pro on both ends, to be honest. Because it's just an extra $100. You get a little bit more, Yeah,
and over the life of a console, that's not bad.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Charles said he had to eat. Cool. Okay, so moving on here, Mr. Dio, man. All right, so he goes through. He goes, he in all caps, throw down your questions 100. And then he says, I've been hella busy these past couple of weeks, yet I've been most appreciative of this horrendous summer gaming guide. It helps the mind think, and I thank this lame generation of unfinished software and game delays for that. All right.
So was it like, it's like the Rite of Spring, was playing in the background, and then you walk outside and you actually see the sunlight. It's like,
yeah, it's like this time now. All right. He has some pretty long questions here. Okay. So he goes, all righty then. Pregunta número uno. La primera pregunta. All right. For those who have seen Final Fantasy. Damn it, Charles isn't here for this shit. Fuck. Okay.
So Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so for those who have seen Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive, or Kingsglaven as I like to call it,
Kingsglaven.
Does that shit get your countdown trigger ready, repeatedly fucking and tearing a new one in the Earth's atmosphere to also stock up for the quiet hyperbolic apocalypse that begins November 29th? Or are your expectations still set to low standard after seeing this film based off of Final Fantasy 15? Please explain. I recommend also checking out this film before the game's release. It's really good. I've seen Kingsglaven at this point around 3 times. I don't think anybody here has seen this fucking movie.
No, and I don't want to see it.
Charles was here. He saw it and he said he fell asleep many times. He thought it was really bad. I just didn't get around to it. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds pretty terrible. I'm gonna see it anyway. But yeah, I can't really answer this question because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and I don't think the movie would get me hyped for Final Fantasy 15, to be honest.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm keeping my expectations really low for that, especially after the past couple of Final Fantasies that came out.
Yeah, I'm just done with the Final Fantasy.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead, Riku.
So when you sent me this question, the questions, a couple of hours before the show started, I haven't seen Kingsglaive, but I went and watched it before the show started.
Oh shit!
So I've seen it.
Okay, so Riku, your thoughts, please.
I liked it. I think I gave it an 8.20. I think it was a really good standalone movie.
By the way, technically the movie would be an anime, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Even though it's CG.
It's CG, but it's
It's some of the better CG I've seen in the past years from CG anime movies. Like this shit, they really have some impressive moments in that movie. And the story, the characters that they introduced, they're actually not that bad. I thought they were gonna be one-dimensional, and not
one-dimensional Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, but they actually had a good nice characterization behind, especially the main character that you're following. He had a purpose for what he was doing, and by the time the movie ended, I did care for him to an extent. So.
Hey, Riku. Oh, sorry. Someone's asking in the chat, do you prefer that better than Advent Children?
Ooh, good question.
I need to watch Advent Children again, but in my opinion, I would give Advent Children just a teensy bit more, but not by that much.
Would you watch Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within again?
Ugh.
So. No, I thought it was a very good movie. I think for a CG movie, I thought that was very good.
Yeah, you're not a Final Fantasy fan, so that's
and I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. I just thought it was a standalone CGI movie. It was really good.
Yeah, interesting. All right, next.
The thing is that you can't put any doubt. That shit looks beautiful. Those
it's gonna look fucking nice. Yeah.
Cinematics that those guys that Square puts together. So, yeah.
All right. Next question here. All right. Concerning the continuous growth of digital gaming software being distributed at today's consumers and at us late 80s cats, in what ways has this ease of access of digital distributed entertainment benefited your gaming lifestyle? How have you grown to adapt or deal with the ongoing changes when purchasing content that is added later for more value of your currently owned software? It's an interesting
question. Talking about DLC and microtransactions.
Yeah, he's talking about that. He goes, for his examples are season passes, all that other stuff,
Yeah, it pisses me the fuck off because we're supposed to back when we had games that came on like cartridges and stuff, they were complete. They were pretty much bug free. And I understand now development has gotten like infinitely more complex. Like studios are piling on guys to get shit out the door faster and make bigger games, right? So they're just getting more complex. There's more problems. They got to account for all this stuff. So yeah, there's going to be complications. But we're not getting complete games either. They know they can cut a story in half or just remove stuff and then sell it to us later, right? costumes and fucking guns and packs and all this.
Season passes.
Yeah, and then season passes to get everything. So you're basically buying 1.5 games, right? To get one game. And excuses for it, and I think it's a disgusting practice. It's just greed at its finest.
It changed the motivation too, didn't it? Like games used to be, well, games first started by being hard so that you'd spend more quarters, but then games kind of evolved into being good so that they'd sell more copies by word of mouth, and like it doesn't seem to be the motivation to be good anymore. It seems to be the motivation to be good enough to sell more. Like, does that make any sense? It's you're not. It's not trying to make a product that you're proud of. It's trying to make a product that sells more copies. And,
right, but the people in charge now of these development houses aren't developers anymore. See, the inmates are running the asylum now, as I like to say, with marketing people. Like, salespeople have just crawled their way into the highest levels of executive positions at all these places, and they have no idea what a good or bad game is. They only know they want to sell the most of it as possible, with as little work put into it as possible.
I want to say I accuse Blizzard of this the most. Like, this whole Pavlovian gaming thing. Like, Destiny is the worst offender by far, I think. Like, Destiny isn't designed to be fun. No part of that game is necessarily designed to be just enjoyable game killing time. It's designed to
designed to be addictive, right?
It's designed to be addictive, exactly, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, that game wasn't designed to be good; it was designed to be addictive, so that it could sell more DLC. And like, that's kind of what I'm talking about in the sense, like, their motives have changed. Like, you would never see a game like Destiny being released back in the day because they would be like, okay, so like, I'm just getting you to play more hours. That's not satisfying for what? So that I can maybe sell you a sequel? That doesn't make any sense.
That's exactly what that's exactly what would cause my spider senses to go off. I'm like, I see what they're doing here. They just want to get you addicted to continuously going in and fighting these things over and over and over again.
Yeah, pretty much. I want to say, like I said, I accuse Blizzard of forging that. Like, World of Warcraft was one of the worst offenders of developing that, because they're just like, how can I make you draw this out more? How can I get you to just keep playing for another month, squeeze another $15 out of you? I don't care if the content's necessarily enjoyable. It just needs to be time-consuming and addictive.
They're still doing that.
Yeah, now every game does that shit. It's just about how much time can we suck out of you, because gamers think, hey, more time means that it's more of a value, when that's like the complete opposite. Just because the game is 50 million hours. Yeah, but the thing is, just because the game's 50 million hours long doesn't mean it's a better game. Than something that's 10 hours long.
Yeah. Exactly. 50 million hours of tripe.
Well, I mean, the game industry has found what the food industry found in the 70s. They've just made high fructose corn syrup right now. They figured out how to. Yes, it's they made that because it's a chemical that when you digest it, it makes you it suppresses. It doesn't suppress your appetite. It actually makes you want to eat more, right, of it. So it's brilliant in that it tastes good. And the way you digest it, it actually reverses the leptin or whatever in your appetite suppression, kills leptin so that you want to eat more, which is why you'll just devour cookies and whatever and drink a lot of soda. Like that's the brilliance of it. They've discovered the digital version of that.
It's the stuff.
It's the stuff.
No, I absolutely agree with Chris, and I think the fundamental thing that at least I really want to point out is like, it seems a small, kind of inconsequential, but like really malicious thing. But like, think about how that permeates through the game industry. Think about how that permeates into the kinds of games that are made today, and how like you don't even see like the first Legacy of Kain was just like it was like a product of love. You could tell somebody really enjoyed the game and they wanted to make it as good as possible. And even though it was rough around the edges, like, it was a really enjoyable game. Like, I don't see anybody making that game anymore. I don't see somebody making Shenmue these days, because the motivation to make that kind of game.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Only it's being remade. I don't see a game like that.
Remade.
It was Shenmue 3, man.
Shenmue 3, man.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Well, okay, let me phrase it this way. I don't think they would make it for the first time today.
Oh yeah, I hear you, man. Because it's not about making a game that you personally love or that you think people will love. It's more about, hey, what game can we make that's going to make the most money? Destiny is a perfect example.
Or what game takes advantage of the people's addiction?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But then, like I said, the people who are making decisions now at publishing and development houses are not developers. They're not creative people. They're business people, and that's who's running the show. So that's all they care about. It's all about return on interest. Because how little can I put into this product to get the most money out of it?
What do we know works? So
right, and then when that's the underlying philosophy of everything, then you get this crap, right? You get shady practices like DLC. And we're like that genie's already out of the bottle. Like, it's too late to go, well, we don't like season passes and DLC. Or too late. Everyone bought into it. Everybody bought the hype. They got convinced. They got suckered that, oh, you need this. You need the season pass because we're making more great content. No, you cut out content and you're just doling it out slower.
Chris, we're the brown coats in this war. You do realize that, right?
Yeah.
We've been saying this for years, and it didn't matter. Like, we lost.
Damn, that's depressing.
You can't take this guy from me as long as I have serenity.
Oh, all right, the last question here. He goes, yo, when's the Get Down spoiler cast? Did y'all even do one for Stranger Things? Did any of you see it, or am I missing something?
Well, I spoke about Stranger Things on the Throwdowns. Yes, I said it was fantastic. No, we didn't do a spoiler cast on it, though.
No, we never did a spoiler alert.
I think it also depends if Tony has seen it, too. You need to see
look, listen, I'm just going to be real upfront with people. These guys could have easily done one if they wanted to. I'm just saying.
I don't think we realize, like, it's been kind of a sleeper hit. So, like,
not
I don't think
really. It's been blowing up on social media since the day it debuted, dude. It's been, like, massive, man.
Did you just say debuted?
Yes, because I refuse to say debut, because I'm going to say debuted. I'm verbalizing this shit, or verbifying it. There you go, verbifying it.
Okay.
I'm making up words tonight, baby. This is what we do on Throwdown.
Yo, man, what are you doing? That's not your role.
So that's your role, right?
That's my role.
Yeah. No, but the point is, like, yeah, Stranger Things has been.
I thought people were raving about it. I didn't know that it had hit the mainstream.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
Hold on, what are we talking about?
Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that shit's super mainstream right now.
Yeah, dude.
It's the hotness.
Yeah.
I hate that show.
That's because Riku's too young, man. He don't appreciate the old school.
Oh God! Don't say shit like that.
Because it seems to me like people who like Stranger Things are like, people that appreciated shows like from the 80s and X-Files and stuff.
No,
and then
dude, but I can't tell you how many people when I was like, I found Crystal Pepsi were like my boss was immediately like, give me a 6-pack so I can drink Crystal Pepsi and watch Stranger Things.
Whoa.
Nah, you know what? You should get like friggin' throwback Pepsi. That's the real shit, not the fucking Crystal Pepsi. Fuck that.
No, yeah, if you want to go back to the 80s, you get throwback Pepsi.
Dude,
hey, Crystal Pepsi is delicious.
Yeah, Crystal Pepsi is disgusting.
Or real Pepsi.
What? What?
Yeah, but throwback Pepsi is actually using the original formula with real sugar.
Oh no! See, the thing is that they don't. They sell the throwback Pepsi, but they just call it with real sugar. They don't put the throwback on it. But
they don't put throwback anymore.
They don't put throwback on it, but yeah, they sell it all over.
The real shit. But yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. The main reason it never happened is because I didn't see the show, and I'm usually the guy that motivates these guys to do these things. So that's why it didn't happen, But they could,
fucks.
Yeah, but they could easily do one if they want. I'm not stopping them.
It's already too late, though.
Yeah.
What can we say that hasn't already been said?
Yeah,
it's a great show.
And then for the Get Down, I don't even know what that is. So
what's the Get Down? Is that like the alternate universe version of our show?
Every show that comes on Netflix instantly is the greatest thing ever for people. It's very interesting.
Oh, it has nothing to do with it.
I watched one episode of it. It was man.
The Get Down.
I think Charles talked about it. He really liked it, but I don't even know what that show is about.
Is that the one about the breakdancers?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's in the 70s.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It's the prequel to Electric Boogaloo, so.
I'm
just kidding. I have no idea.
Oh man.
I wonder if are we gonna do one for Luke Cage?
Hell yeah, we're gonna do one for Luke Cage, bitch. It's happening, man.
Nice.
We always do ones for like we didn't do Jessica Jones because I didn't see it and everybody else hated it.
You can still watch it.
No, Manny hated it.
Brett didn't like it either, though.
Oh, Brett didn't like it either?
I was torn.
Yeah, I liked it. I just wanted more fighting in it. That was my thing,
I thought it was heavy-handed in its messaging.
It had its issues, but I thought it was okay. And critically, it was really well received.
Oh yeah, critics loved it, but I think the show was made for them,
It was a decent show that's most of its good points covered up with unnecessary virtue signaling.
Yeah, I could agree with that. All right.
It didn't have to go into be like you raped me. Other than it's a hot topic issue.
Oh man! All right. And Dio actually has some very nice words for Rachel here because they used to play online and stuff. He goes to a dear friend I've only met briefly in GTA 5 online a couple of playtimes when the getting was good with that title. To a joyous, animal-loving, kick-ass, good spirit, which I have no doubt in my mind was loved and respected by her peers. May her glorious presence shine down brightly towards her loved ones, including her friends, and may her spirit and memory shine even greater throughout the years, watching over us always. Shine ever greater, Rachel Murdoch. You will be missed by the masses, and you will rest in peace. Blessing. Thank you, Dio. That was very beautiful.
Thank you, Dio.
I appreciate that. Dio's a good. Yeah, I always saw her and Rachel like talking on Twitter all the time. So I'm pretty sure she would appreciate that. Thank you. Moving on here, Mr. Keon Mitchell. I haven't seen this dude in a while, man. How you been, Keon? He goes, hey, Throwdown crew. First and foremost, I want to send my condolences to Brett and his family, as well as the Throwdown cast. Thank you, my good sir. Thank you. All right, first question. Will the Xbox One S be able to keep the same momentum when the PS4 Pro releases? Good question, because the Xbox One S is killing it right now. The MPDs came up, just like I predicted. Xbox destroyed PlayStation in August.
2 months in a row.
2 months in a row, people. So, but the question is, will it keep that momentum? Because I guarantee right now, when the PS4 Pro releases in November, it's going to win MPD easily.
Yeah, and that's what normally happens when new consoles come out. But
exactly.
And I said on Twitter, if for some miraculous reason the Xbox outsells PlayStation 4 in November, then it's a whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame.
I doubt that's gonna happen, but if that happens, we're gonna have to redo our all scorecards. What do you guys think?
Do I think? Give me the question again.
Do you think? Hold on, let me get the question again. Will the Xbox One S be able to keep the same momentum when the PS4 Pro releases?
Honestly, I hope it does, because Sony's been getting cocky. They've been slacking and doing some shady stuff lately. And I've seen you guys on Twitter when it comes to how strict they've been when it comes to just the petty stuff, like, oh, you want to talk about our stuff? Take that fucking video down. They're getting really stingy about certain things, and I feel it's a combination of them being stingy and cocky because they're at the top right now. And I miss the humble, competitive Sony that we had in the PS3 days, when they weren't on top, when they were giving us, what we wanted as gamers. And right now they're slowly moving away from that. Oh, yeah, fuck you can't talk about our stuff. Oh yeah, pay extra for PlayStation Plus right now. This and that. It's not. I don't like Sony when they're cocky, and right now they're cocky. So yeah. I hope Microsoft, lashes back and puts them right where they were majority of the PS3 era, because that was when they learned their lesson at the beginning of the PS3 era, that cockiness doesn't get you anywhere, and I feel they have forgotten that feeling. Yeah. They need
that's a good answer.
They need to get their ass beat again. So, do I think it's gonna happen? No, but do I want it to happen? Yes.
All right. Anybody else want to jump in on this?
Well, it's got to be a couple of factors for both systems. I mean, with PS4 Pro coming out, like, What games are coming out for the holidays that's big for Sony?
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian, even though it's
next month.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's still good. It's going to be pro, enhanced and shit as they call it. Final Fantasy 15, that's going to be pro enhanced too.
But is that multi-platform?
Yeah, that is multi-platform. You're talking about exclusives, right?
Talking about
it's like, so Microsoft has Gears 4 and Forza 3 happening, and then is there something else? It's like Cuphead or anything else coming out?
No, we don't know about Cuphead. Sony. It's funny because I actually put out. I was talking about it earlier. Yeah, Gears of War, Recore, Forza.
Yeah,
and that's all I can think about. With Sony, these are the exclusives I know about. Last Guardian, World of Final Fantasy, and Gravity Rush 2. That's what Sony's got coming, and they may have some more too. I don't know. Is Neo coming out this year? I don't know if that's coming out this year.
No,
that may be another one. But they both have almost the same amount of exclusives coming. It's just they're not all mega AAA games,
Right. Yeah, but there's something to be said for brand recognition, and where Microsoft has that advantage with what they're releasing exclusive this year. So that may carry them well with the momentum. So people are looking forward to Recore, so that's something new. Then Gears 4, it's Gears of War. Forza, and then in the Horizon platform, that's more attractive to me because I like the more fun racing games than the serious ones. So that may help them keep the momentum going. So September is Recore, but I think they'll probably dip, like you said, when PS4 Pro releases. But I honestly don't think Last Guardian will sell well. I just don't see it. And
advertising that shit, man, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's almost like the NX. It's like, why the hell aren't you advertising this? It's coming out soon.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, and I don't think it'll sell well. I think if you have the games and the recognition, then that's what carries you. I mean, the Xbox One S is a great value, and then on top of that, if they have the games coming in and they can promote them well enough, then they will have the momentum going through next year.
I also think with Last Guardian, they're kind of using the same sort of technique they did with Shadow of the Colossus, where you really didn't see any sort of advertising for it either.
Yeah, but that's bad.
It's so weird. I don't know why.
You shouldn't do that. And by the way, speaking about advertising, right? PlayStation VR comes out next month. You haven't heard shit.
Yeah, man.
And here's the funny
I didn't know it was coming out. Didn't come out the next month until you told me.
Of course you don't know because they're not advertising. And here's the funny thing: we're talking about exclusives, right? That has a ton of PlayStation exclusives. No one's talking about it. Sony always does this shit. Sony always does. They never advertise their shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, look at the Vita.
You look at oh man. Go ahead, Carlos.
Also, another factor for Xbox S to beat the Pro is this month the Slim releases. So, and we've talked about this before, releasing two consoles at the same time span, the Slim can undercut the Pro, man. The sales for the Slim, people can buy the Slim this month, and then when it comes to November, when these parents take their kids, it's like, oh, we already bought you a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting. All right, so next up, do you think that Sony taking out mod support for Fallout 4 means that Sony won't support modded game add-ons altogether? That's a good question.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Not gonna say anything, but a little birdie told me that the reason that this is going on is because Bethesda didn't want to QA the mods, right? They didn't want to pay people extra money to QA the mods, and we all know how Bethesda is horrible when it comes. They don't even QA their normal games, right? So they weren't going to try to QA these mods, and Sony was like, "No, we're not. You're not having that broken shit on our system. No, we're not having it." So that's what's going on there. So will this affect other
how
mods?
are they QAing the Xbox mods then?
They're not. The Xbox One mods are fucking. It's a mess. They're horrible. Yeah, they're crashing systems and everything. It's a horrible mess. Sony's like, we're not having that shit on our system. Fuck that. Get your shit right first. But Bethesda was like, no, we're not going to do that. And Sony was like, okay, too bad.
Bethesda does not do QA. We make perfect games, and so are the mods. Ooh.
You know, but my thing is like I'm pretty sure Sony will allow mods of other games as long as they're QA tested. They just don't want broken shit on their system. That makes perfect sense.
They're only allowed to release broken games.
What happened, man?
What was it?
I said they're only allowed to release broken games.
But are these mods?
What'd
you say, Rico?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, are these mods being developed by Bethesda though?
No, user mods.
Yeah, so like, what's like? I see it from Bethesda's point of view. Like, why would we QA these mods if we didn't produce them and we're not getting paid for them?
Yeah, but at the same time, you can see it from Sony's standpoint. Like, why aren't you QAing? We don't want these broken things on our system.
Because it was a major selling point of your game and it was printed on the box.
Exactly. Like Sony was advertising this.
Right, but they were supposed to be curated. Like that was the difference. Like if you want the Wild West of mods, you get it on PC, right? They could go hog wild and get whatever you want and crap your game out, or go on Reddit or other forums and figure out what mods won't crash your system, and then you put it together and then you just play Fallout 4 as you want. But on the consoles, it was promised that they would be curated. Bethesda was like, "Yeah, we're not getting any money for this, so you know what? Do what you want." And Microsoft just said, "Yeah, sure." And I guess that was the result. I didn't know it was crashing systems. I didn't know the mods were just not good.
Yeah, they're really bad on Xbox.
Yeah, so Sony doesn't want that kind of heat. So I think that was a smart move then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all you need is somebody going, "Oh, this shit broke my console. God damn it."
So yeah, that's that's where I'm coming at it from. So, but will it stop other developers? Unless like again, they can go, "Hey, we're going to curate the mods." Then I'm pretty sure Sony would be okay with it.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I guess nobody else is going to say anything about that. So we'll move on. The next question, last question from Mr. Keon here. Will Sony get the same backlash for not being able to do true 4K native games, just like Microsoft received with the 1080p debacle? As long as Sony doesn't say it's true 4K gaming,
Well, they never said it was true
4K gaming.
And it's, Microsoft thing was like, there's already a solid install base that have TVs of 1080p that you're not utilizing the full resources, I guess. But it's not like everybody has a 4K TV sitting around that they're waiting for a console to be able to, take advantage of. It's a little bit different. If everybody if we were having this conversation in 5 years or 10 years when everybody already has a 4K TV, my games are only running at 2300 or some shit like that. This isn't true 4K. Then, yeah, because you already own the thing and you want to take advantage of what it does. But it's not like that. It's not like there's a huge install base of 4K TVs. Does anybody here have a 4K TV?
No.
See, that's kind of what I'm saying. So when the Xbox debacle came out, everybody had a 1080p TV. Everybody had a high def TV.
Hey, by the way, for you guys in the chat, do you guys have any 4K TVs out there? Please let us know. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty much it. It's a different thing because it's can this console take advantage of this thing that I already own like it said it was going to, versus can this thing take advantage of this aspect that I really haven't upgraded to. And it doesn't actually claim to be able to do it fully, just most of the way with slight upscaling. Like, they never said that they could do it, and I can't take advantage of them doing it, so I don't care. And I think that logic applies to 70% of gamers. So I don't think it's the same thing. Same principle, not the same thing.
I agree. Carlos, get in here, man. What do you say?
Yeah, for the same reasons Brett said it. I don't think so, especially since not even the Scorpio is gonna do well. I doubt they're gonna do a lot of their games native 4K.
The problem is they're saying they're gonna be doing 4K native.
Right. So if they do their games 4K native, then they're gonna have to compromise a lot of things. But no, I don't think Sony's gonna get as much backlash as Microsoft, mostly because they shouldn't be in the same caliber exactly for the points that Brett said about people having 1080p monitors from the get-go. Pretty much everybody when the one came out.
I think the only people that are going to backlash that are the Xbox guys because they have something. They have ammo.
Yeah.
They have ammo of some sort to be like, well, you guys can't do this, you know. And you know,
which is
they're gonna
hilarious.
Those are the only people that are going to be saying stuff about it. And the people and a small percentage of the PlayStation guys that were actually looking forward to something that they can't even utilize. But that's a small percentage. I think the majority of it, like I said, are probably the Xbox guys using it for console war ammo.
Console war.
Idiots. Chris, what do you say?
I agree with you guys. Like, I mean, I'm very far away from getting even a 4K TV, and I don't know. I don't think these guys are going to be able to deliver. If they promise like 4K, they're not going to be able to deliver it. So,
yeah, Microsoft is shooting themselves in the foot by saying that shit. Sony's not saying that. I mean, if you saw a press conference, they pretty much said, "Hey, this is how we're making it look like 4K." You know,
right? They're gonna have to walk that back slowly. At least they have a year to do it. Maybe they'll make everyone forget.
Oh man. All right. Moving on here. Oh, actually, last thing he goes, P.S. Thank you guys for your consistency and hard work. I really appreciate you guys and your opinions. Congratulations on 100 episodes. Thank you.
Thanks,
sir. Awesome. All right, Fern Gully in the house. Okay, now this first question is a little bit complicated, so just bear with me. He goes, okay, is the PlayStation 4 Pro in many ways like the Xbox 360, and is Scorpio like the PS3? This is how he breaks it down. Here's what the 360 was. No HDMI at launch, had to use VGA, no Blu-ray, and not true 1080p, only upscaled. Released a year before the more powerful PS3, made a big push towards the streaming of movies and TV shows. Remember them promoting South Park downloads? Had 3 versions starting at $299 for the core. A gamer's first machine with wider install base. Now the PS3, a true 1080p non-upscaled capable console with HDMI at launch, a Blu-ray player, first ever Bluetooth controllers, backwards compatible. 2 versions starting at $499, a hype train that promised fans the best experience at a premium price.
Did it start at $499?
No, it started at $599.
$599. Yeah. I bought one. Hell no, it was no $499.
Carlos got that second job. He's like, get rid of it.
So what do you think? Yeah. Wow. So what do you think of the question? Is the PS4 or these consoles more like the previous consoles in that way? I see what he's trying to get at. You know?
Yeah, I was saying that beginning of this generation, I felt that the PS4 vanilla and the Xbox One vanilla were like the PS4 resembled the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One kind of resembled the PS3. I was saying that when this generation started, where the PS3 came out, the PS4 came out before the Xbox One, it was cheaper, and the masses flew towards it to play Call of Duty. The same thing can be said about the Xbox 360. So I would agree with him right now with the examples that he made again. Yeah, I agree with it. Your examples are spot on.
I like the way he really went into this shit. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me. You know,
360 had a lot of forgiveness. I still have my wireless dongle. The 360 didn't have Wi-Fi built in.
Mm-hmm.
You had to pay $80 for that thing. I forgot how much it was.
Oh, it was $100, I think.
It was $100. Yes, that's right. I got mine.
Oh my gosh.
I got mine secondhand. But it didn't have wireless. You had to buy a dongle to do that.
I do want to say this. Okay, now the PS3 did have an HDMI port at launch, but it didn't come with an HDMI cable. You know how I know that? Because this was back in the days when they charged you an arm and a leg for HDMI cable. Yes. I bought mine for $80 at Radio Shack, man. And I when I was buying it, I felt my ass getting penetrated. You know what I'm saying? Like it was real, but it's like I got no choice here. Fuck.
That's when those were the days when you would go to Best Buy and they had those cables for like $60-$80, and then we didn't realize that they sold them in Amazon for like $5.
Yes. One of the things is that they were those companies, like like Best Buy, and yeah, they were overpricing it on purpose.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Because they knew people, didn't know any better. Again, with my situation, I knew better, but I was like, "Fuck, I don't have a choice here." Shit, I have this console today. I don't want to wait to order it online.
Yeah,
God damn it!
I mean, I did the same thing. I went to Best Buy and bought the cable, and the guy was like, "Well, it's got gold-plated tips." I'm like, "That's worth $60."
It's like,
is it all gold?
Yo, Chris, I got told the same shit.
Yeah.
It's got gold, son.
Yeah, literally, that was the selling point. I'm like,
yeah, I remember they were telling me that it has better conductions. I'm like, gold's like not the best conduction when it comes to freaking like metals, man. There's better ones and there's cheaper ones.
That's when he cuts you off. He's like, "Just buy it! Get out of my fucking store!
Just buy it, nigga."
Well, the conduction's only good if the entire thing is made of gold.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, it's just gold plated.
It's just gold plated. Yeah, that doesn't make a difference.
They don't want the wires to be gold too. Then they'll be $80. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, and
all right. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just a quick thing about this. One thing that wasn't mentioned is the completely different architectures both the consoles had.
Yes.
So Xbox had that x86 architecture back. The 360 had one last gen, and then Sony had that cell architecture, which really screwed them over. And
no, the 360 and the cell were both using PowerPC architecture. The cell was just a PowerPC chip. It just had asymmetrical cores. I think it was using 7 cores. And the Xbox 360 was using a tri-core PowerPC.
I thought hold on.
We only have x86 architecture now. You're using the basically the Intel instruction set, like in the Xbox One and the PS4, because AMD is making them.
Yeah, even Shawan Watson, he's been leaving a lot of comments. He goes, both PS3 and 360 were still PowerPC.
Yeah, they were both PowerPC.
The Wii U was PowerPC too. I mean, the Wii was also PowerPC as well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was. It was an overclocked GameCube.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but it's true. We've been saying it since day one on this fucking show, though. All right, moving on here. Okay, this is a good question. When is the last time you bought a Blu-ray? This question was asked to test the waters and see how big $29.99 physical media is to the gaming community. I've heard that Blu-ray sales are down big time and that more people stream now. Trying to gauge how much people actually support it and are talking about it. I like this question. Okay, I bought all of the Phase 2 movies on Blu-ray recently, right? But before that, I don't remember the last time I bought a Blu-ray. It's real like that. But Manny, I want to go to you because you buy Blu-rays regularly.
Oh yeah,
you?
I buy Blu-rays pretty regularly. I just bought what is it? Not Room. What is it? Green Room.
The Room.
No.
Oh, that Patrick Stewart.
The movie with Patrick Stewart and Yeltsin. It's a good film. I'm gonna go buy Captain America: Civil War. The only big issue I have with modern Blu-rays and stuff is that the new releases don't have nearly the amount of features they used to anymore. Like
director's commentary and stuff.
Yeah, some of them get director's commentary, but a lot of the Marvel movies, they don't have commentary with any of those guys anymore, which kind of sucks. Or a really decent behind-the-scenes featurette or something like that. Like back in the old days, you used to get a whole hour of content of them, and then all these different sections that break down everything. Nowadays, it's just you're lucky if you get one little featurette that talks about the effects.
That's terrible. What you know what? I'll go down the line. Riku, do you buy any Blu-rays?
Never have, never will.
Okay. Chris?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going to buy Civil War when it comes out. Did it come out yet?
I'm probably going to buy it. No, it comes out. I'm going to buy it too, actually.
Yeah,
it comes out
it's
tomorrow.
Coming out right
yeah,
now.
I buy. Yeah, like you said, the Phase 2 movies instantly. What's the last couple of Blu-rays? I mean, I bought John Wick on Blu-ray. I bought Fury Road. I bought a bunch of movies. I don't remember now, but I know some recent stuff. Most of the DC animated films I get on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Also, and then if I find deals, we have discount stores around. I'll find older movies and stuff on Blu-ray. I get those. like 80s movies, like Goonies or Monster Squad or something stupid like that.
Monster Squad with the Monster Squad, right? Carlos, man, what about you?
I recently bought Batman v Superman, everyone's favorite movie in Ultra. In Ultra, and I also bought a Deadpool. I bought Deadpool in 4K Blu-ray, and the last thing I just recently bought is, well, I bought this a long time ago, but it's getting here this week, is the complete Haruhi Suzumiya collection. It's an anime series, so that should be getting here pretty soon. Can't wait for that. And that's awesome. Pretty much it.
All right, Brett, what about you, man?
I have nothing against Blu-rays. I like them quite a bit, but money's been tight around here the last couple of years, so it's not really the thing I can support for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. By the way, for me, I should add another addendum. Manny always gives me shit about this, right? Because when I do buy Blu-rays, I never fucking watch them.
You fucking don't watch this shit.
Pretty much like maybe 75% of the Blu-rays I bought, I never watched. You know, because I'm
still inside the case.
Yeah, exactly. But I will be buying Civil War, and I probably won't end up watching that either. All right. Next question here. Actually, here's the last one from Mr. Ferngalis. Right. If the Scorpio drops at $4.99, I will buy it day one. I'm not sure about anyone else though. Do you guys think Microsoft will take the hit and drop the Scorpio at $3.99? Ooh, yeah, I know, Carlos.
If
man,
they really want to make PlayStation sweat, they should do it, in my opinion.
I agree, but the shit that's going into the system, it's going to cost a lot of money. Even $500 is already a hit. You know?
Well, because the graphics card is supposed to be like really close to the 1070.
Yeah.
And the 1070 is like what, $500 or $400
minimum.
Right?
Yeah, minimum. Yeah.
And that's just a graphics card. So no, $4.99, $5.99 at the most would be my guess.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Even at $500, that's a hit. You know, this thing's gonna cost a lot. And I know people are going, "Oh, but next year it'll be cheaper." But dude, it's still, you know, the shit that's coming out this year, man. It doesn't work like that. It's gonna be expensive as fuck if it's what they want to have in there. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what comes out next year. They can't scrap what they have now. The console's being developed now.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Whatever the pricing is now, whatever Microsoft has to put into R&D and AMD deals and licensing and all that stuff, that is all money they're spending now. They can't go, well, it's going to get cheaper later. No, that's not how it works. If they revise the Scorpio later, then yeah, it'll get cheaper. But right now, no, it's going to be whatever the cost they're putting in, they have to account for all of it.
That's just how it is, man. All right, anybody else want to chime in? Manny, I see you over there.
Me? About what? About getting a Scorpio?
Hey, Charles is back.
Cheer up, Charlie.
hey, Charles. Oh, I'm gonna ask you the question, bro. Okay, if the Scorpio drops at $5, he goes, you know, this is from Go. He goes, if Scorpio drops at $500, he's gonna buy day one, but he's not sure about anybody else. Do you think Microsoft is gonna take the hit and release it at $4.99? I mean, it's $3.99. We can't hear you, man.
No.
God damn it, people.
He's saying no. You know why? Because he's got a PC. Oh.
Yeah, Charles understands. Yeah, go ahead, man.
They are positioning themselves to be the end of the console as it stands, with probably a modular unit of some sort. If there's a $300 price point anywhere, it's going to be for the base Scorpio, so you can spend $100 for this, and $100 for this, and $100 for this, so you can make the whole thing. So it's going to seem like it's a PC, but it's not going to really be a PC, I don't believe. So no, 300, well, for whatever price, under 5, absolutely not. Not going to happen.
Yeah, that's pretty much a consensus around here too. With the shit this thing's supposed to have in it, like I said, $500 is going to already be a hit. They're going to be taken, you know.
But dude, people have to understand, like, they want to compete with PC, or just not even necessarily compete with PC, just put themselves in a better position with the consoles, where they don't have to put the R&D into an entire new thing every however many years. But they are still having to use these same components now that a PC has. These things aren't going to just magically become cheaper because Microsoft and Sony are using them in a console and it's not quite a PC. They still have to spend that money. They still have to make some kind of profit. They still have to be a business at the end of the day. They may take the hit on some stuff early, but $300? That's ridiculous.
I agree. All right, moving on here, Mr. Mike Madden. Okay, so this one is kind of tied into the other one. If the Scorpio is everything Microsoft has said, it's the same question basically. How much do you think? Okay, actually, how much do you think it's going to cost? I'm going to go with $500 minimum. You know?
Yeah, it'll probably. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a $500 version, a $600 version, and a $700 version.
Yeah, I agree with Charles.
I agree
that they're going to do that. They're going to make 2 or 3 SKUs, and whatever's in the third SKU is going to be like, how's your electric bill looking?
It's the Ultra Scorpio.
That's the hip hop gamer one, is what that is.
They're
gonna call it the Scorpion. They're gonna call it the Scorpion King. It's gonna have the Rock on it.
Like people,
Akuma Sente.
The easiest way, because with Scorpio we don't have the facts yet, but the easiest way to get yourself prepared for what they're trying to do, look at the Steam boxes, and just put a Microsoft sticker on there. Like it's going to be that basically.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will get a Scorpio day one. I'll probably be there. But we'll see. We'll see how it is. Like, I don't know if like $700. It's like that's not leaving me a lot of room to get that 4K TV.
You better get it on a Black Friday sale before that drops, man.
No, man, I gotta fight the football guys.
Hey, Chris, I can sell you. I have an extra one.
You have an extra 4K TV?
Well, when I bought the one that I got, they gave me one for free.
What? Where'd you get it on Amazon?
No, on Best Buy. I guess it's because the one I have was really expensive. So they're like, oh, we're gonna give you this base amount and another 4K TV, and I'm like, okay.
What special Best Buy is this? Is giving you away fucking TVs, man?
It's the true Best Buy, the best buy.
Best Buy.
The best of the best, the bestest buy. Quick question though about the Xbox. You guys, obviously, PS4 didn't go with its code name PS4 Neo. We all assume that. So what do you think the Xbox is gonna be called? Do you think they're just gonna just call it the Xbox One Elite and just, you know?
They're not gonna call it Xbox One anything. So it'll be Xbox something. They're gonna get rid of that one name.
I think they're gonna call it. I think they're gonna call it the Xbox 2.
Don't do that.
No,
it's gonna be the Xbox Infinite.
They might call it Xbox Next. Or
the next box.
The next box.
Yeah, they might call it that. The only reason, the reason they're using One right now in all their marketing stuff, like with the, you know how OneDrive was SkyDrive and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, actually, they got hit by the same company that hit No Man's Sky, because there's a company, I don't know, in Europe somewhere that actually trademarked the word Sky.
Oh shit!
So Microsoft could, basically Microsoft lost the battle against them, so they just changed their products to One. They just remove the word Sky, everything's One. For all I know, the Xbox could have been called the Xbox Sky. For all I know, I don't know, but all their Sky branded stuff had to be dropped, and they called everything One. So they could go with something else, but they're not going to call it Xbox 2 or whatever. They'll probably call it Xbox Next or something else.
Just go with Xbox Infinity,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to do iterative or modular, then that name makes sense.
Yeah, but they definitely want to distance themselves from the One branding. You know, that thing's tainted right now. They want to distance themselves from that. So no One at all. All right,
Xbox One, Windows 10, exclusive.
Yes, exclusive. All right, the last question here from Mike. Man, this is a fun one. If you could only pick one, would you choose a PS4 Pro or a $400 GTX 1070 card? I'm gonna go with the GTX 1070 card.
Oh yeah, definitely the card, because to up my PC gamer ability. Especially, it's like, wow, I could now play Star Citizen and all that stuff. Yeah, give me that card. If it was like, if you were offering me either, I would take the card.
Well,
By the
for
way,
me,
yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
For me, it's weird because I would say the PS4 Pro, because the graphics card I currently have is better than that one. So there'd be no point.
Yeah, that is true.
Is that
All right, what about, yeah, go ahead, Riku.
How much does that graphics card cost?
He said $400. It costs more than that, but he said either a $400 GTX card, which would actually be cheaper than normal, or a PS4 Pro.
I'll probably get the card and build the PC that I said I was gonna build.
Ah, shit. So, man, see, PC gaming's getting all of us, man. It's crazy.
On my PC. On my PC.
Is that what he's saying now because he's on PC, or?
Yeah, he's saying that. You know, he's saying PC's the greatest.
Also, his everything looks better on his TV.
Yes, of course.
Oh, he's still pushing the TV thing with his PC.
Now it's PC
TV and a PC.
Wow.
Crash Bandicoot.
Apparently, he can make Crash Bandicoot look like The Order.
Yeah.
I wonder if like the visuals now will help him not suck at Demon Souls or Dark Souls.
Oh no! Well, here's an interesting thing. He said he likes PC gaming because you can the cheat codes, man, like God mode.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, yo,
look at
you're already hip hop gamer easy mode. Now you're just trying to be pussy boy mode.
And then the moment somebody says like, "Yo, man, what's up with that? That's not real gaming." He's like, "You questioning my gaming?"
Yes.
Oh shit!
I had a Super Nintendo. Let me get my cousin.
Yeah.
My cousin. Hey, Brett, what do you say to this question, man? Graphics card or a PS4 Pro?
I'd probably be torn. I'd like to say a graphics card because that'd be the better decision, but I play my PlayStation.
Would you really be torn?
Yeah, man. Like I like PC gaming, but at the same time, like I don't like a lot of PC gaming. Like it's broken more than it's not. So like as much as I like having a PC that has good options and a good video card and everything like that, like I play my PlayStation way more.
You'd abandon me, Brett?
I would not. But this is the thing. I already have a pretty decent video card. I got
You have a pretty decent PS4 also.
What you got?
No, I'm saying you have a pretty decent PS4 also.
Oh, this is true.
Brett, what graphics
I
card do you
have
have?
a Radeon R9 290X. So it's not great. It's not bad. I got it for like $200 because it was an open box refurb, and then I got like a free 2-year warranty on it. Because Micro Center is the shit.
Yes, Micro Center is the truth, man.
So, but like I got into the nitty gritty too. Like you can't just be like, oh, how many gigs is your video card? Because there's a lot of smaller specs on it that really determine whether or not your video card's able to move the power that it has. So I went into that and I got the full quality 2 gig video card. So it does me well. I can't max out my games, but I don't have any games that I'm like, man, I really wish I could max out this game. Like, again, I tend to play more on console. Weird as it sounds, though, and I hate to say this, I haven't been playing video games lately.
Me neither. Well, no, never mind. I've been playing
Me neither.
I actually beat one game I wanted to play. I got Kristen Until Dawn. And then both of them played with it. Yeah. I actually saved everyone in there. I played like Manny. I looked at every corner. It's like, we gotta get out of here. I'm like, shut up. I'm looking for clues. I'm going in every corner. I'm like, nope, not in a rush. I don't care if the monster's around the corner. I'm looking for shit.
I'm doing something here.
Gotta find the little totem poles.
Yeah, and you know what? That helps you. If you find stuff, if you just run through the game, you're most likely just gonna die.
Oh man! All right,
That's really good.
Moving on here, the last questions here from Mr. Subgata, who you all know did the little Otanime logo for us.
Mr. Gator.
So he goes 100 and a bunch of Japanese words. So he goes, congrats on your 100 podcast. I'm gonna assume that's what all that Japanese gibberish meant.
He likes to do that. Like every so often, he'll write something and then he'll just put kanji.
Yeah. Well, he lives in Japan, you know. So.
Oh yeah.
That's why.
It's funny. I actually asked an interesting question because you remember the Solid Zero like art book that I made. Yeah. I was reading this article about doujinshi and how they're handled in Japan. Like people can get sued by them, but companies don't want to do it because it would also mess with the fan base. But I was like, wait, the Solid Zero book I created, would that be considered doujinshi? And then my Japanese friend Ruby said yes, and he said yes too.
Oh yeah. There you go, man. So, when it comes to Japanese stuff, I kind of go to Subgata. He knows his shit.
Mr. Gata.
Or Juan Ariaga. I love that fucking name, man. We got a Hispanic guy in fucking Japan representing us, Carlos.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
We're freaking going everywhere, man. We're spreading that seed, bro.
Yep.
There's a birth rate problem in Japan? Not anymore.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I said this on Throwdown before. You want to fix that birth rate problem in Japan, right? You get me and my Dominican cousins over there. We're gonna fix that shit real quick. Okay, so he goes, thanks to the Throwdown crew for entertaining and making this podcast. Here's to another 100. All right, so here we go. So he goes, mainly for Tony, but others can chime in too. I recently thought on recollecting my PS1 games collection. I had to sell them back in the early 2000s to pay for college, which I regret kind of. With all the price gouging on eBay, online merchants, brick stores, etc., is it a sound decision to buy again? Dude, you live in Japan. You're in a very special position to get these games. Go to Akihabara and stock up.
Well,
the only question is, will they be in like because will they be translated? That's the only thing.
Yeah, and they probably won't be. They'll probably be as they originally were. And also, you also got to understand, in Japan, the used market is actually illegal or something like that.
Whoa, really? Okay, maybe that's why he's asking this question.
That's why he's probably asking the question, because most of the games that you buy in Akihabara, they're mostly new. They're new games.
See, I would have said yes, but that's from our perspective here. Like, we go to garage sales. I find old Super Nintendo games. We find Genesis games and stuff. We go to the classic game store. It's very easy to go find, old games, right? In the U.S. Like, I didn't even think about that stuff.
Yeah, you got to answer this question from his perspective. He lives in Japan.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. So I have no idea. So take that trip back to the States.
Yeah.
Load up.
Yo, Subgata, come to New York, man. You stay at my house for a couple days. We'll go to the fucking Manhattan. We're going to get some games, man.
Yeah, go to get games.
Yo, man, that place.
Chinatown.
Yo, man, China. Some of those places are overpriced over there, man.
Or you go stay with Chris.
Yo, man, you got to go visit Chris. That's where the deals are.
Come down to Austin. We'll go to the classic game store. We'll go to the garage sales, man. That's where you get great stuff. I remember a guy sold me. I bought some stuff for PS2. I think he sold me Final Fantasy 12 for like $1.
What?
Yeah.
Chris, I'm gonna make a list. And I'm gonna give it to you. It's like, can you buy this for me, and then I'll pay you back.
I mean, yeah, I'll look around. Like sometimes they have good deals. There's a lot of classic game stores around here, like between here and San Antonio. Charles probably knows. There's probably classic game stores over in San Antonio also.
It's crazy, man. Right? Actually, right now, Charles is on a bathroom break, and speaking of bathrooms, Brett is taking his dog to the bathroom, walking him. Okay, so next question here. What other hobbies, aside from gaming, anime, manga, comics, whatever, do you guys have? I'll let you guys go first.
Hobby besides comics,
and all the other stuff,
And all the other stuff. I mean, did he say is collecting toys in there?
That could be another hobby.
Yeah, you know me. I love collecting figures and toys and stuff like that. So that's probably true for me and Chris.
Oh yeah. I got too many.
Yeah, I've kind of slowed it up a little bit because I'm running out of shelf space. So
yeah. There's money and time, so it slows down. But yeah, we were warp speed at one point.
Yeah. And like when I used to work at 4Kids on Ninja Turtles, like I used to have for like at least 5 years, I had a whole other collection of toys at the job.
Oh man.
Like, so I had my shit that I had at home, and then I had the shit I had at my job. So literally, imagine bringing a big box of fucking a whole new batch of toys home, which I still haven't removed from the box.
I had the same thing.
That's funny. All right, Riku, what other hobbies do you have besides the usual geekery stuff?
Nope, this is all I got, son.
You know what? I'm gonna jump in. That's all I got too, man. That's all I fucking do. If I'm not playing a game, I'm watching anime. I'm reading a comic book. That's all I do.
But
I don't go golfing and shit. I don't have like miniature croquet or whatever. I don't know whatever adults do. I don't do any of that shit.
No, the thing is though, but when I was in the Bahamas, back when games were expensive, and comics, there weren't really that many comic book places. I actually did have some, outside stuff. I was a swimmer. I actually did used to play golf. I sucked at basketball, never could get into that. I used to play a lot of soccer, but once I moved to America, man, and them games became cheap, yeah, I kind of threw all of that shit to the side.
See, man, I had no idea that you were from there.
Oh, I was raised there. I'm from here. That's why I came back. So yeah.
Riku, how come you don't talk like Damien?
Well, when I first came here, I did. Yeah. And then everyone was like, "Oh, where are you from?" I think something in my brain just triggered, and I was like, "I'm tired of people asking me that."
Hey, we knew somebody like that. Our boy Omar, he was from Jamaica. He came here, he dropped that accent, but he would still crop up every once in a while.
No, it would come back. It would come back when he'd be around his family. It'd be like,
yes.
Like,
oh yeah,
hey,
that's
guys.
me.
He'd be like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And then all of a sudden, "Hey mom, how you doing?"
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, it'll creep back. It'll only creep back for two ways. You're around someone that that is like that, or you get pissed. Get pissed. Get real mad. You'll hear it.
Let's get Riku mad.
But wait, but island people aren't angry though. They're cool.
Oh.
Those drunk motherfuckers, man.
What the fuck?
They ain't got no time to be angry.
Nah, son. Not the Bahamians, man.
Oh, okay.
Not the Bahamians. Maybe some other Virgin Islands. Look at Damien. He's a perfect example of someone.
Yeah, he's angry.
I'm convinced he's not really from the islands.
Ooh, he calling
angry.
you out, son. You know he listening.
Yo, man, you're too angry to live on that island.
Yeah, man, Virgin Islands, beautiful. Like beautiful island. You're over there.
Yo, man, you got blue ass water over there. Don't be mad.
Yeah.
By the way,
be glad you don't live in the on the upper East Coast where all the water's fucking green.
Yeah, right. Fucking Hudson River and shit. Yo, Riku, hold on. Since I'm still patting the show out a little bit for Charles and Brad, get back. I want to talk about that shit I saw you post on Facebook the other day, man.
Which one was it?
Where something like I think and during the same day somebody said that you're a white person trapped in a black body.
Oh my
Lord.
Lord.
What the fuck was that about?
Oh my Lord. You've heard it before where people think I'm a white guy. Yeah, I was just at work and someone was like, "Oh, you know what? You remind me of a white friend I used to have." I'm like, "A white friend?" And this is like some white chick that said this shit, and I'm just like, and my supervisor said, I like you a lot. You remind me of my son, and she's white as shit. And I'm like, oh my god. And then someone on PSN said, "Who brought this white boy into the chat room?" I'm like, oh. So I've just been hearing that a lot lately, and there's just been, what the fuck is going on? Do I gotta get hood on you niggas? No, I'm not gonna get hood on you niggas. But,
see, what's funny to me is because you sound like a nerdy black guy. That's what you sound like. I've known a ton of dudes like you my entire life, Just from here, I'm like, this dude's black. He's just nerdy, Hilarious, man. So I just had to It's funny.
That's
All right.
that's weird.
Yeah. Okay. The last question. Actually, no. Last question. We still got to go down the line. Chris, do you have anything else besides the usual nerdery stuff for hobbies?
Oh yeah, well, I'm like Manny with the toy collecting.
That's it, right?
Movies and
Yeah.
like old TV shows too. Like I try to find old 80s shows or 80s cartoons that I used to enjoy. Trying to get those back, but that's about it. Yeah, it's mostly games, anime, and that's it. Those are the major ones, especially video games.
Speaking of old shows, I finished watching all of Quantum Leap again. I'm like,
Nice.
Holy crap!
Man, I tell you, man, that show ends kind of sad.
Yeah, it sucked. That ending, the series ending was blue.
Yeah, because like, oh, you know, he saves what's his face. Well, I'm not gonna give it away, but he saves what's his face, his wife or whatever. But then it just like,
Dude, you could spoil that. You spoil more current stuff. You could spoil a 20.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Like
that is true, man. You spoil the shit out of current stuff. You're not trying to spoil Quantum Leap.
literally, you know, he helps out. And then literally there's a bunch of text that shows up on the screen that says, he never made it home. It's like,
Well, no, the shitty part was he got back home and he had to get back in the machine to go back and help his wife. He was already out.
Oh no, that was one episode. That was one episode that he had to get back because him and Al switched places. That was like that was second, third season or something like that. Okay. In the last episode, he leaps back into his own freaking body, right?
But in the past. But in this weird alternate world with this weird like bartender who he thinks might be God. And then the guy tells him like, listen, you had control over your leaping. You just never chose to take control of it. And he's like, holy shit, well really? So what he does is the first thing he does is because Al's first wife essentially did not he went to the Korean War or Vietnam, and he was kept as a POW, and he wanted Sam to go over to her and say, listen, Al is alive. Wait. But he didn't do it because he was like, listen, I have to really, the thing I'm supposed to do to allow me to leap for the next thing is this, and it's not to help you, unfortunately. So what he does is he leaps back to that time, he fixes that, and then at the end, the text shows up on the screen and says, Al was still with his wife and has a bunch of kids. Sam never made it home, and he was lost in time.
Man,
fucking crazy, and it's kind of sad. It's like what? But yeah, great show.
Did you? And you saw them in a wacky order, didn't you? Because Netflix was weird.
Oh no! You know what it is? Okay, this is an old memory that I totally forgot about. All the episodes were in the correct order, but some of the episodes did not have the proper ending preview. Sometimes it looks like they would reuse them. So sometimes you'll see like he'll all of a sudden go to a place where he's like, wait a minute, he never did that. Or he'll do one, it'll be another one that's like, wait, that didn't happen either.
Yeah.
So it's weird that way. And it's in the right order. It's just the ending previews were not even in the original ones were just they reused them or changed them around for some odd reason.
All right, so, yeah. Cool. Right, Carlos, what other hobbies do you have, man?
Does TV and movies fall into this that geek category?
See, I don't know, man. Like, because I watch movies and stuff too, but I kind of consider that all the same. Because TVs, what do I watch? I watch superhero shit. Movies, what do I do? Watch superhero shit. So maybe it depends on the type of movie you watch. I don't know.
Yeah, I watch.
I was gonna say, if you watch it's like sports, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, Carlos, there you go, FIFA and shit, you know.
Well, yeah, like
I watch football stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, I currently have 2 leagues, and they're paid leagues and stuff like that. I watch like every sport. Like I watch soccer a lot. That's like my favorite sport. I listen to a lot of music. Music is like my main media consumption. My main hobby is listening to music. That's like something I can't live without.
I guess you told me you could say music.
Yeah,
that counts for all of us.
Yeah,
that does count for all of us. Yeah, that counts for all of us. Yeah, for sure. You know, that's a big part of it, actually, for sure.
Doesn't count for me.
Okay. Hey, Brett, since you're talking, what other hobby do you have outside of the usual geekery and all that?
I'm a tattoo artist, so
man,
that's that.
you don't want to ask me that question.
But that's what he wants to know.
Honestly, like depressing as it sounds, like I don't know anymore. I've spent the last 2.5 years being pretty much a full-time caretaker and working on comic books or illustration in my part time. Like I haven't had a hobby in a while, and since Rachel passed away, like I don't do anything. I just kind of listlessly float around. Like I keep trying to play video games, but I can't find the interest there. Like my answer is depressing because like I don't remember what my hobby is like. I remember like I like the usual geekery. I liked drawing. I liked just hanging out and barbecuing, but like a lot of the things that I used to be super into are kind of dated now. So I'm like, like I used to be really into World of Warcraft, but like that's pretty dated information. I don't know now. So
I think I think at least for gaming and stuff. I mean, it's difficult to do that stuff alone. I think if anybody if for you to really to kind of get back into it, I think some of us have to kind of we have to go with you.
Yeah,
I think that's what it really is.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of empty.
Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, Charles, what other hobbies do you have besides the usual geeky stuff?
Well, outside of the 3 that he mentioned as geeky things, I do a lot of board gaming with friends. Play poker. Big time in the sports. Well, mainly football, college football and pro football, mainly pro. Fantasy football, I do that, which in itself is a little geeky too. It's basically Dungeons and
Yes,
Dragons.
it is.
Yes, all the dude bros that talk shit about like video games and stuff like that. Like fantasy football is just as geeky.
Yeah, totally.
Music, listening to music a great deal, but also creating music, which I just got back to doing since I moved back to Alabama. Playing with my dog, writing a whole lot. Even outside of the work writing, I like to write beyond that. So, and I used to like playing football and basketball a lot, and I really want to get back to that, and that's probably going to happen now since I'm back here.
Yeah.
What were you into? I mean, this is a little side quest here, but what were you in Texas for? Was it just work?
Just to escape my comfort zone. Just wanted to get away from Alabama for a couple of years, and that's what happened. And I at the end of the lease in this last place, I was considering moving to Austin, or moving back, and it's moving back won out. So
there you go. By the way, I find it interesting how you actually named more hobbies than we all did combined. Because like half of us here were just like, I don't do anything else. Like me, I'm like, I don't do anything else besides anime, comic books, and shit. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for answering that. Because we were all sounding like boring. Like, damn, that's all you motherfuckers do? Really?
Does social drinking count?
I have no. I mean, the thing for me, it's like I have no time to do any of those other things.
No, but it's I'm going to admit it's a little bit embarrassing. People ask like, hey, what other hobbies do you have? Like, that's it, man. That's all I got. It's like I make a living off this shit and I do it on my free time. That's all it is to it.
I mean, most people don't have the time to have a lot of hobbies to begin with.
Unless you're Charles, superstar. I'm fucking with you, Charles.
I don't get to do it often.
Yeah. No, but you're right, Brett. Like even the few hobbies I have, I find it's hard to balance them all. Like one always wins out over the other,
Oh yeah,
it's tricky, man, for sure. Like I see these dudes like playing and beating games constantly. I'm like, how the fuck do you have time? Because that's all they do,
Well, I mean, that used to be you, dude.
That used to be me, yeah. But now I have, I'm more balanced. I have a job now, It's different.
Even guys who don't play video games, like I don't know how to quantify their hobbies. Like it's like people who don't game a lot, like. Well, what do you do? Like, well, I drink and I make food and I do laundry and I watch TV. And I'm like, okay. And like, yeah, sometimes fantasy sports, like I hang out with my dog. If that counts, that's the thing. But like most of the time people are, I hate to say it, rather boring. Like it's not that we don't have much on top of video games. Like even like I don't have much outside of like video games, D&D, movies, TV, like forum posting. It's just all in the geeky spectrum. But there's still a lot of stuff there for the most part. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, within those realms. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Even, I can even speak for you. Like you've played D&D. Like I'm pretty sure you've tried Magic before. You play video games. You watch different kinds of movies. You talk. You do podcasts. Like that's a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Granted, it's all in the same vein, but it's a bunch of stuff.
That's why we like being geeks. There's a bunch of stuff here for us. You know. All right.
Robust landscape.
Yes, it is. All right, the last question here, and this is actually my favorite question of the episode. So, Mr. Subgate, I'm going to give you a $20 whatever card, probably PSN. I know it's Subgate rules. I love this question because it makes you think like, All right, where do you see Throwdown 5 years from now? Very interesting question.
Hopefully, still up and going.
Yeah. I mean, we would love to keep it going as long as possible. I mean, I was talking to Tony about this earlier, where it's like maybe it would be to a point where where this thing will actually make a little bit of money. Maybe we could all get together in an actual studio and talk rather than just kind of be, doing a meeting room online. How awesome would it be to just be in the same room and just yell at each other? That'd be great. Like the Kind of Funny guys. It's like that is the dream right there. Essentially the stupid shit that we do in our daily lives. Now we can make a little bit of cash off of it.
Yeah. By the way, I find it funny that both of our guests left. Well, Charles had to leave. So Charles was saying, Riku, I don't know what happened to Riku. He didn't even say nothing. He just dipped. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard question because now Throwdown. There's Riku. Yay. Throwdown as an entire entity has been around for 4 years, right? So we know about longevity. The current iteration of Throwdown, that's only been around for 2. So where do I see the show in 5 years? Again, it's super hard. So I'm going to just be
a difficult question.
Yeah, I'm going to just be very conservative about it. I would hope we're at the point where, we are big enough where I could get the rest of you guys into E3 just based off the podcast. I don't know if that's like, look, that's definitely a goal. I don't know if it'll happen, but hopefully it will, but that's a goal. I want to get, like 10,000, maybe 20,000 subscribers, and I can get the whole crew into fucking E3. Then we can have Throwdown live, That'd be insane. Like we did it at this year's E3, it was awesome. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess, a goal. I don't know if that's where we're gonna be, but I definitely want the show to be big enough where I can get everybody into E3 and maybe Throwdown is a bit of a presence in the gaming industry. That'd be really cool because I still honestly believe, not tooting our own horn here, but we deliver the best gaming podcast out there. I listen to other podcasts and I'm always like, man, fuck these guys, man, we're better, because hey, I'm just being real, it's like, and I'm not, and just because I'm saying that doesn't mean I'm dissing other podcasts. There's other great gaming podcasts out there, but I feel our unique, energy and chemistry makes us stand out, I do a lot of us are industry guys helps too,
I do agree. I think we do, I think it also comes from the fact that we also know each other so well. It's like a lot of us are longtime friends, and a lot of us are just really awesome people. And then we just really gel really well. Even when we add like new folks like my cousin Adam, and we add Carlos to the mix.
But even then,
it's still family, it's still family,
For sure, that's something unique that a lot of podcasts don't have. And I'm going to say it, we're diverse as shit too, without forcing it down your throat.
With as I always say, with the Rainbow Coalition of podcasts.
So yeah, that would be nice if one day people just recognize the awesomeness of Throwdown. We have a lot of work ahead of us if we want to make that happen, but I'm pretty sure we're prepared for it. Riku, where do you see the show in 5 years?
In 5 years, I kind of see what you were going for. I kind of see that. I would be cool if I had a point Throwdown had its own like show floor at a E3.
That'd be insane.
That'd be
That would be
insane.
crazy.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I would like to see it at that point. That'd be crazy.
All right, Chris.
I would hope we would all be broadcasting from Mars at that point. Like, we've just left the confines of Earth to find safety to keep talking about games, because we may have an asshole president who may blow us all up. So at least we'll be someone who we can still game and
Space
survive.
colonies with Gundams.
I didn't even think about that. Either way, we're gonna get a horrible president come November. You know.
Time to get on the Macros.
Macros.
Oh yeah.
I love the fact that you could say we're gonna have a horrible president come November, and still nobody knows who you're voting for.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not voting for either of them, but one of them, they're both horrible choices.
Yeah. Let's just be honest. Like, Chris and I think Chris, I could talk to you. We're gonna vote for Johnson, but we know the man ain't gonna win. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, no, it's just like which horrible person we don't know, but come November there will be a horrible person in office.
Oh man, I said this a while ago, and it depressed the shit out of me. It's like all this horrible shit that's been happening in 2016, and we ended with one of these two people in the office. Oh my god. Let's go to Mars. Let's get Gundams. Let's do this. It's fucking stupid.
We'll get a Macross with Gundams on it.
As you can see, I have alpha brainwaves.
Man.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's my sci-fi answer. The real answer is I just hope we keep going, we keep doing the show, and we keep growing, and maybe we build enough audience and support and everything that we can become more of an influencer in the industry. I mean, we're all yelling from the rooftops about all this stuff. We've usually been right, and nobody listens.
That is true.
That.
Get like review copies for you guys and stuff. That'd be insane. All right, Carlos, man, where do you see the show in 5 years?
Hopefully, we get to a point where the show allows us to kind of like how Manny was saying, where we can get together. Maybe not a permanent thing where we're at the same place all the time, but where we can maybe meet at the same time, maybe once or twice a year to do like a special podcast and like what Chris had, have like a big influence on the industry and have our voice just be more amplified than what it currently is.
Yes. By the way, Barry Burton, he goes, Sony will buy the show.
I'm sure that that Greg Miller show is like 2 seconds away from being bought by fucking Sony, because it might as well be.
So
P.S. I love you.
Yeah.
And then Barry Burton says, episode 200, get your ass to Mars.
Yeah.
Hey, if we keep going at our current rate, we're going to hit episode 200 in 2 years. So be on the lookout for that. See you at the Pactor party. Hey, man, that'd be awesome, Okay, Brett, where do you see the show in 5 years?
I see it evolved. We constantly do new iterations, and what I'd like to see is, or where I'd like to think that we see it is, we get a little bit more traction, we increase a little bit of our income, and that allows us to increase the quality of the podcast. Like,
yes.
I would like to see us at the quality level of some of these high-end YouTubers, where we have graphics, where we have a backdrop, where we have a green screen, where we have a couple people that we can meet in the studio, and then artfully display, small windows in a custom UI, as opposed to just doing like Google Hangouts. Like, I foresee us becoming not just more polished, but continuing to evolve and become more of a, I hate to say legitimate show, but more of a classic format of What You Think, like more toward the original X-Play, which or not more towards the original Attack of the Show, which was good stuff, and which was, for a lot of the reasons that these guys have said, is I loved the original Attack of the Show for a lot of the same reasons.
Screensavers?
Yeah. Well, Screensavers, and when it first became Attack of the Show, it was still good before Olivia Munn came. Really, like there was a lot of chemistry then, and that's a lot of the same reasons that I liked that time is a lot of the same reasons that I like our podcast. And I'd like to see in 5 years us not repeat the same mistakes that they did and just jam weird personalities in there that don't mesh and then lose our way and then fucking sell out. Like, I'd like to see our production go. And on that note, I can foresee if we did that, we would turn from more of a show into a channel. And we're already kind of doing that with the spoiler cast, with the multiple shows. But I foresee it becoming more streamlined and more polished. And as we gain more traction, more evolved. And that, I think, is what's going to give us the ability to garner more respect or weight in the industry, to be heard, because I do think we have a good thing going, and I although even though we're at episode 200 of the second iteration, we still have some rough edges to dust off. There's always room. And I foresee us doing that, and so in 5 years, I'd like to think that we've kind of almost grown into our own YouTube channel with high production costs and a little bit more of a following. That's what I'd like to see.
Hell yeah, man. Like the real shit, sleek, the Throwdown empire, man. That'd be awesome,
Throwdown professional production quality. And don't get me wrong, we try real hard. We do a real good job with what we're given, man. This whole thing is held together with bubble gum and duct tape. But I do foresee us if we do get the traction, and especially if we do get any kind of financial flow to help us, pay for some of these expenses. I foresee us putting out a more polished, evolved show, and I see us all being a little bit more tempered, aged, and wizened, and also grumpy. And I think that's part of the reason people will still watch us in 5 years. Because I tell people I'm like a fine wine. I just get better and more bitter every year.
Hey, listen, some people have actually called us the Grump Cast, so I don't think we're losing that.
Yeah, are we grumpy? No.
We kind of are, dude. We don't like anything.
I like things.
That's why I'm
a lot of times we go back in my day. That's
back in my day.
We're the Grump Cast.
Back when things were great.
I forgot what it was, but there was something Carlos was saying earlier today, right? Where it was just so full of grumpiness. I'm like, this is why I got this guy on the show. He fits so perfectly with us. We don't like shit on Throwdown.
Man, if we would have done this in back in last gen, it would have been completely different.
Yeah, you would have been happy.
We would have been happy back then.
Which is ironic because last gen, when Throwdown first started, that was probably when I was at the angriest I've ever been, just yelling every fucking episode. I'm chilling right now. If you guys remember those days where I'm yelling at Jagon and shit, Rico, you remember that shit, man.
Cutting them off. Well, shut up.
Man, I remember, again, we could reminisce a little. We took our first break from Throwdown, because we did 15, 16 episodes. We took a little break for the holidays. We came back, and I was like, okay, we were pretty angry last time. We should calm it down. And then we come back with 3 in a row of the angriest episodes we ever did. Especially me, I'm just yelling and shit. It's hilarious, but not much of that going on in this, version of Throwdown. We're kind of even, we're grumpy, but we're more refined about it. So I think, Brett, you're onto something. We're going to still keep that grump, but it'll be more refined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There we go. We're gonna get laser tight cut.
Yes. I would love that shit, professional. Fuck this Google Hangouts bullshit. We get the real shit, in the studio. Everybody's getting paid. That'd be awesome, People, I want us to go into E3, go into the media room, and people would look at us in both awe and fear. I would love that.
Shock and awe.
Yo, man, that's Throwdown. Yo, that's crazy. That's Throwdown, son. They high. That's what I want. I want to be respected and
deliver that slick green screen experience. I want to be able to throw graphics across our screen. I want to be able to throw little windows up. I want to be able to show you guys visual examples of Twitter fights that we have with people. You know, I want to have like cool comic POW backgrounds and shit that we could just drop in there. And I'd like to have it a little bit better than, you know, just jumping from window to window. I'd like to see you know, have us, you know, sitting on at least a couple of us, you know, in a studio. I know we're all spread out so locally, but like even if it were just like 2 people in the studio and then like 4 small windows, like on you know, 2 on each side, so you could have kind of like a round table discussion or something like that. And you could see everything at once as opposed to jumping back and forth. Like I foresee us getting out from under the thumb of our Google overlords and hopefully like being able to deliver something that is more akin to what we'd like to give you guys in the raw fashion as opposed to what we're able to give you. Because there's always the differentiation, and any artist of any medium of any type knows this, between what you want to deliver and the thing that you do deliver.
Yeah.
And while we're still very proud, and while I'm still very proud of what we do deliver, it is not our final form.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna be going Super Saiyan, you know.
Yep.
Right now we're very powerful. We're Kaioken, you know. we want to get to that Super Saiyan, you know, and then above, you know, you know, we want the big banana hair, you know, eventually. Level 3. All right, so that pretty much. Oh yeah, so Subgator, that was the question of the week. So we're gonna give you a nice PlayStation card. By the way, before we did this whole contest thing, I didn't realize I was going to be spending so much money. Well, what are you going to do? This is what we do for you guys, you know. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna, you know, this is crazy. Now we're in the triple digits officially for both shows. By the way, I want to give us, you know, a shout out, because think about it. We have 2 fucking shows concurrently at 100. Who else is doing that? That's crazy. You know,
we've been doing this shit thanklessly, and I say thanklessly in quotes because some of you guys are fucking awesome, but for the most part, like, we've been doing this shit for well over 2 years. Like, nobody's paid us, nobody's thanked us, again, with the exception of the few of you who are fucking awesome. Like, like we got some tenacity. I just got to say that.
Yes, for sure, man. You know, and the thing, the fans always talk about how they appreciate our consistency, right? And I want to say this because I love the fact that the one time this year where we were inconsistent, because remember, consistency works both ways. Most people think inconsistency means you're doing something wrong. No, we were inconsistent in the fact that we usually bring you 2 shows, right? We brought you 4 fucking shows during E3, you know. So even when we do inconsistent, we do it right. More content, you know. We don't fuck around on Throwdown, man. So hopefully, yeah, next 5 years and above, we're gonna be a beast. You know, but never lose sight of where we came from, you know, even, you know, I'm just going to get into some dumb shit, but yeah, we're just going to, you know, not lose sight of what we want, because there's a lot of fake fucking people out there. And that's the reason you guys come to us. We keep it real in this fucking show. You know, we don't give a fuck. So, you know, I'm not even saying hopefully we will keep that around. You know, even if you throw money in our faces, cool. Let's put that money into the fucking show, make it better. You know, that's what we want. So yeah, there's so many ways to say, but yes, it's thank you all for, you know, making all this shit happen, because, you know, the show, like, even it's always just a little bit, but the shows always get bigger every little episode, you know, and it's been building up. Now we have like 536 fucking subscribers. Madness in 2 years. Are you kidding me? You know, that's fantastic. So thank you all. And, you know, again, like I always said, please spread the word, because I know some of you guys out there listen to Throw It On Your Own, man, in your room. You know, it's like, man, I love the show. Tell your fucking friends, man. You know, please.
If you guys want to see us hit that, you know, where do we want to be in 5 years? Like, yeah, man, tell your friends, have people subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't cost them anything. And then you guys can talk about all the bullshit things that we say. And you can talk about, like, how much I was just blowing hot air on my ass on the episode last night. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, man. You know, because that's the thing. You know how it is with nerds, man. You find out one thing, it's like you want to keep it to yourself. Don't keep it to yourself, man. Let everybody else know. Share the wealth. You know, share the Throwdown wealth.
Well, just so we can do better shit for you. Like, you get more.
Yes. Basically, that's how it is, man. So yeah, the more you give us, the more we give you, and, you know, it's like a circle, basically. It's good shit. Riku, man, I want to quickly thank you for being on, man. You know, always good having you on the Throwdowns.
Yeah, no problem, man.
What are you up to these days, man? What's going on with the platinum agenda?
There ain't no platinum agendas no more, man.
Oh.
No,
the king has retired.
Retired, yes. Well, there's still a few games that I want to platinum, but there is no, like, overarching agenda. It's just I want to play what I want to play. And I will play it when I want to play it. So
yeah, because before you used to have a list and everything, you know.
Oh, I gotta finish this, and this in March. I gotta finish this, and this in April. No, none of that shit no more. I'll finish it when I finish it. I don't rush to like release date games and all this other shit. I'll try to, if I can be there, I will be there. But back in the day, man, I tried to be there midnight for like everything. If I feel I'm not ready for it, then I'll play it when I play it. You know.
Yeah.
And I used to do that with the only franchise I used to do that with was the Arkham games. Every other big game that came out, I always wanted to be there release day playing that with my friends. But now it's just like I don't care, man. I'm sick and tired of playing stuff that people tell me to play. I want to play what the fuck I want to play.
There you go, man. Trails in the sky, baby.
And Ease. I'm playing Ease all week. I will continue to play Ease. All my friends are like, "Oh, come on, we can play Overwatch. It's free this week." I'm like, "No." They're like, "Why? Can you at least try?" No, I'm playing Ease. Like, fuck you. Like, yeah, fuck you.
Take your Overwatch and shove it.
Yeah, I was like, no.
Reed was like, Overwatch, man. We're like overhyped, man. Fuck that game.
Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about Overwatch. I don't think it's a bad game because I haven't fucking played it. I tell you what, I don't want to play it. Sorry. I want to play what I want to play. And it's not Overwatch.
Riku, completely off topic, but I need to ask you this. What do you think about this whole Crunchyroll Funimation partnership? What do you make of all that?
I think it's cool, but I want to see exactly what they're gonna do with it, like, because they share a lot of the same stuff. So
I just think nobody subscribes to Funimation streaming.
Yeah,
like they decided to do their own streaming, and
I'm the only one.
I know a handful of people that are subscribed to the Funimation.
Yeah, but that's it. There's a handful. Like Crunchyroll is really dominating in terms of subscribers. If they
that is true. Funimation benefits from this far more than Crunchyroll does. The only thing Crunchyroll benefits from this is getting the English dub
on their channel.
On their stuff.
That's been the main reason I didn't fuck with Crunchyroll. They have so much great anime, but most of it is subtitled. I'm like, man, I ain't got time for that, you know.
Yeah, Funimation has all the dub ones. So I know Funimation's dub for Gundam got on Crunchyroll. So there's that. I need to see more what they're gonna do with this. Are they gonna give away promotions and whatnot? I need to see some more of it. It's interesting though.
Yeah, I'm a subscriber to both, and I'm probably gonna cancel my Funimation subscription now that it's kind of like pointless. But the Funimation interface is so bad. Like the Crunchyroll one is it's the best interface. I wish everything was on Crunchyroll and I could just watch it there. It's like so neatly like organized.
Yeah, it really is, man. Crunchyroll is like interface wise is fantastic, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Funimation didn't know how to put together a UI is important. They have to pay for servers and all this stuff. So now they just can get licensing fees from Crunchyroll, right? And then win-win, Crunchyroll gets the dubs, right? So they both benefit.
You want me to dress like the Godfather? Yo, fans are funny, man.
I did draw him as the Kingpin once.
Yeah, you did.
Years ago.
Maybe for episode 200, I'll dress like the Godfather.
We're gonna give him an offer he can't refuse.
All right, so let's wrap this up. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section on the Coalition or on YouTube so we can answer them on next week's show. Make sure to follow the Coalition at thecoalition.com. Also, help support the site by donating to the Patreon page. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'll see you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
A man cannot refuse an offer on his daughter's wedding day.
Yes. Brett Murdoch. Brett, man, say something. Brett's probably yelling right now.
Yep, talking to my mute. As always, it's been real party, people. I'll catch you next time.
And Riku-san won, the only one.
Peace out, little niggas.
We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Peace.
Later.